Imagine being such a beast that you conquer the entire martial arts world using nothing but your bare hands. That is Dan Wuzing for you, the legendary Fist King who made everyone his footstool without needing a single blade. But even the biggest gigachads have bad days, and our boy is currently having the worst one ever.
He is covered in blood and breathing his last after getting jumped by a mysterious group that clearly did not play fair.
Most of the fodder is already dead, but 2 absolute units are still standing, looking way too smug for their own good. Wuzing is hurting bad, but he is still staring them down like the predator he is. Suddenly, the sword demon decides to show everyone why he is a walking red flag. When one of his own men begs for help, this psycho literally slices through his own subordinate just to get a clear path to Wuzing. Talk about toxic management.
Wuzing spots the symbol on that jagged blade and realizes he is dealing with the notorious demonic faction.
These guys are the ultimate trash of the Jianghu, and they finally managed to corner the king. Even with 1 foot in the grave, the Fist King is still the king of arrogance. He looks the sword demon in the eye and makes a wild vow to end his life in exactly 10 attacks. He is basically telling them that even on his deathbed, he is still their father. The battle kicks off and it is pure chaos. Wuzing is throwing hands like a god, but something is seriously off. Despite his insane skill, his punches are barely grazing the enemy. Our boy is getting frustrated because his internal GPS is failing him. Every time he aims for a weak spot, he misses. He starts feeling this weird, invisible pressure holding him back, like a total lag in a high-stakes boss fight. Turns out, it is not lag, it is a cheat code. That shady guy with the fan is using invisible strings to restrain Wuzing's movements. It is a total 2-on-1 scam, and the Fist King is realizing he has been played. The sword demon moves in for the kill, gloating that the reign of the Fist King is officially over. Wuzing takes a massive hit, and his vision starts to fade as his legendary strength finally leaves his body. As the light leaves his eyes, Wuzing has only one final regret. He does not care about his title or his life, he just wishes he could have landed one more solid punch on that smug sword demon's face. And just like that, the legend dies. But wait, the plot armor is strong with this one. Wuzing opens his eyes and finds himself in a luxury safe house on Zhohua Mountain. He is surrounded by servants calling him first young master and acting like he is some fragile porcelain doll. He stumbles over to a mirror and nearly has a heart attack. The face staring back at him is not his rugged, battle-hardened self, but some pretty boy he has never seen before. He is desperately checking his face to see if it is a mask, but nope, this is his real skin now.
He realizes the demonic faction could never pull off a soul swap this perfect, or they would already own the world.
This is 100% a classic reincarnation trope, and he is stuck in the body of someone else.
Wuzing tries to do a basic movement and realizes this body is absolute garbage.
He feels as weak and wobbly as a newborn fawn. The legendary Fist King is now trapped in a physical form that probably struggles to open a pickle jar. He starts digging through the room and finds letters addressed to Li Jineon, the eldest son of the Yunhe merchant group. Turns out, this Jineon was a legendary loser who spent all his time on gambling, debt, and chasing women. Wuzing is beyond disgusted by his new identity. Suddenly, a physician named Gong Sun Miang bursts in, acting all worried about the young master's health.
He is putting on a big show of being a loyal servant, but Wuzing's internal alarm bells are screaming.
The physician offers him some dragon and phoenix soup, claiming it will invigorate his body.
Wuzing takes one look and realizes this dish is straight up poison for someone in Jineon's condition.
This doctor is a snake trying to finish the job. Wuzing plays it cool and asks about the current year of the big martial arts competition.
When he hears it is the 200th one, he realizes he has only been dead for a very short time.
His enemies are still out there, probably celebrating their win. After kicking the suspicious doctor out, the former Fist King cracks his new knuckles.
He is surrounded by snakes and losers, but he is actually happy.
His killers are still alive, and he makes a vow to hunt every single one of them down and end them with one punch. You know your life is a mess when your own servants are traumatized just because you ate breakfast.
Our main man Li Jineon is currently devouring enough food to feed a small army.
And the maids are acting like they have seen a ghost because he usually just sips on sad, watery porridge.
Look at this absolute unit. He is fresh out of a workout, dripping with sweat and aura, telling the servants to keep the meals this heavy from now on. The girls are whispering that he has finally gotten healthy, but little do they know, the soul inside this body has zero interest in being a frail rich kid anymore.
Just as he is enjoying his meal, this rat-faced physician named Gongsun Mian creeps in with a fake smile that screams, "I am the low-tier villain of this arc." Ji Nian is already annoyed because this man is groveling like a professional simp, and honestly, the fake politeness is making our hero want to skip dessert.
The old man thinks he is being clever, but Ji Nian is literally staring through his soul.
He cannot understand why this physician is putting on such a pathetic performance, so he decides it is time to start poking the rat to see how fast it squeaks. The physician tries to play the "I missed you" card, claiming he could not endure the loneliness without checking on his favorite patient.
Ji Nian just sips his tea, looking at the man's fake concern and thinking about how much effort the old geezer is wasting on this act.
Our hero goes straight for the jugular, asking if the old man was trying to seduce him with that dragon phoenix soup. The physician nearly chokes on his own spit, desperately trying to claim it is just a nourishing tonic for his health. Nice try, old man, but your acting is a solid 0 out of 10.
Ji Nian casually drops the bomb that he thought the soup was actually poison, and the look on the physician's face is pure gold.
Gongsun tries to play the "I am your personal doctor" card to save face, even threatening to leave if he is not welcome, but he is clearly sweating buckets now. You do not just walk out on the Fist King. Ji Nian hits him with a terrifying glare, reminding the old man that he is the master of this villa, not some guest. He plays it off as a joke a second later, but the physician is officially shaking in his boots. It is time for some psychological warfare. Ji Nian orders the rat to bring writing tools so he can dictate a letter. He starts talking about his severe illness and how his life is stubbornly long, basically trolling the man who has been trying to kill him this entire time. The physician stops writing because the words are hitting a little too close to home. Ji Nian's eyes turn cold as he asks why the old man stopped.
The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a sword, and the old man realizes the weak master is gone.
Boom. The mask is off. Ji Nian tells the old man straight up that he is not the lead Ji Nian of the past anymore.
He is done playing games with a bottom-tier assassin who thinks he is a doctor.
Here is the science lesson for today, that dragon phoenix soup might be a tonic for a healthy person, but for someone as ill as Ji Nian was, it is a lethal poison. Our hero reveals he knew the physician was secretly checking his pulse to see why he had not kicked the bucket yet. Imagine the audacity of this man, pretending to be shocked while his fingers were literally searching for a death rattle. Ji Nian kicks everyone out of the room, leaving just him and the traitor for a little heart-to-heart conversation involving a lot of intimidation.
He demands the name of the mastermind behind the assassination attempt.
The physician tries to play the kind old man one last time, but Ji Nian just sighs at the stupidity. He knows this rat is not working alone, and he wants the big fish. Finally, the villain shows his true colors.
Gongsun's eyes turn red with bloodlust as he realizes his cover is blown.
He decides that if he cannot poison the master, he will just kill all the servants and silence everyone manually. Talk about a massive red flag. The physician pulls out a needle, but he is bringing a toothpick to a nuke fight. Despite the intense pain in his weak body, Ji Nian moves like a blur, slamming the traitor down while casually holding a piece of chicken. That is what I call multitasking. He tells the old man not to get distracted while he is talking.
Even though his body is screaming in agony and he feels pitifully weak, the Fist King is already planning his recovery.
He needs to get his strength back fast so he can start hunting the rest of these traitors. He suspects the entire Yunhe merchant group might be involved, which is a pretty big problem for a guy who can barely stand. Suddenly, a massive headache hits him like a freight train. It turns out, the original owner of this body had some baggage he forgot to mention. A flood of memories from the original Li Ji Nian starts rushing in.
We finally see the truth. He was the disappointing eldest son, a total loser, who was neither smart nor strong compared to his overachieving younger brothers.
The memories show a man who tried to buy respect with money, failed miserably, and then spiraled into a depraved life of pleasure to numb the pain.
By the time he realized he was a clown, he was already exiled to this mountain villa to die quietly.
This original kid was a textbook example of a rich simp who lost his way. He neglected his health so badly that his family basically threw him in the trash.
But for our reincarnated king, this is not a tragedy, it is an opportunity.
Jineon realizes that even though the original owner was a waste of space, the body itself is actually innately gifted.
With his past knowledge of martial arts and a few expensive elixirs, he can turn this trash-tier vessel into a god-tier weapon. He looks at his piles of gold and laughs. He might be exiled, but he is still filthy rich. He can afford every rare elixir on the market to speed up his training. As for the physician? Well, let us just say he is currently providing nutrients for the villa's garden. Fast forward one whole year later. The villa looks peaceful, the cherry blossoms are falling, and the servants are going about their day. But the man inside that building is definitely not the same sickly loser who arrived a year ago. A guard from the Yunha merchant group named Mok Siap arrives at the gate with a letter, probably expecting to find a dying man or a corpse. He asks the maid where he can find the young master, acting all smug and superior. The guard walks into the training area and his brain literally stops working. He is looking for a frail, depraved rich kid, but instead, he finds a man with a back like a mountain range and enough muscle to crush a boulder with his bare hands. Mok Siap is frozen in pure shock. The lacking eldest son has transformed into an absolute beast. Jineon turns around, dripping with sweat and pure main character energy, ready to show the merchant group that the king has officially returned. While most people are out here struggling to stay awake, our boy the former Fist King has been busy grinding. A few seasons have vanished, and he is officially done with the tutorial phase, successfully manifesting his energy core and engraving survival martial arts directly into his new muscle fibers. Look at this absolute unit mastering techniques like enlightened mobility and a rapid stride. He is even flexing with the fourth phase of the White Lightning 10-phase art.
He is basically a walking cheat code now, but in his head, he is still thinking he is too weak.
Talk about high standards. He is out here practicing his moves like a beast, turning a simple training session into a visual masterpiece. Everything was going smoothly until he decided that a falling leaf was the perfect target to test his speed. Spoiler alert, the leaf never stood a chance. Even after slicing through nature itself, he is still grumbling that it is not enough.
This man has the mindset of a pro gamer in a bronze lobby.
He is sweating, he is shredded, and he is ready to ruin someone his whole career. The training montage gets interrupted by Mok Siap from the guard squad, and the poor guy looks like he just saw a ghost. He is looking for the frail, pathetic young master he used to know, but instead, he is staring at a literal Greek god. Siap is having a full-blown internal crisis because the transformation is just too much to handle. Where did that frail-ass kid go? He is holding a letter from the main clan, but he is too busy being traumatized by Jineon's new aura to even speak properly. The letter brings some spicy family drama. The big boss of the Yunha merchant group has collapsed and is now bedridden. Jineon is not buying it, though.
The letter is suspiciously vague about the details, making him realize something fishy is definitely going on back at home.
It turns out the merchant group is being bullied by the Ouyang clan. These clowns have been extorting them with protection fees that are snowballing into insanity. Imagine paying for protection and then getting zero help when things actually go south. That is the definition of a scam. Jineon is listening to this and realizing the Ouyang clan are basically glorified parasites. They even ignored a trade tax crisis from another sect because they only deal with the main clan when it is convenient for them. They are basically the ultimate red flag organization. Then we have the big bad, Ouyang Hu. This guy is a legend in the Jianghu, but he treats merchant groups like dirt beneath his boots. He is strong enough that even people like Siap are terrified of him, but Jineon is just sitting there with a smirk, already planning how to dismantle their whole operation. But wait, there is more. The real reason the father collapsed wasn't just the stress, it was witnessing a violent sword fight between his own second and third sons. Imagine being a father and seeing your kids try to turn each other into shish kebabs.
I would collapse from pure rage too.
Genion realizes his brothers are absolute rascals who need a reality check.
He decides he can't just sit back and watch the family business burn down. He announces he is going back himself, and the guard looks like he is about to faint again. He tells Inseop to keep the letter because he is done reading. The vibe has shifted completely. Our protagonist is no longer the local disappointment, he is the storm that is approaching.
The guard is left thinking that the young master has completely changed into a perfect martial artist.
Back at the headquarters, the news of his return hits like a comedy special. The guards are literally spitting out their drinks and laughing.
They think the idea of the infamous good-for-nothing becoming a martial master is the joke of the century.
Little do they know, the joke is on them. They are calling him a scoundrel and mocking his past reputation. One guy even jokes that if Genion is a master, then he must be a legendary master himself. Meanwhile, Vice Captain Han Yeep is in the background, being the only one with half a brain cell, sensing that something is different. Han Yeep recalls that even as a kid, Genion had a fine physique, but he is still skeptical.
The atmosphere gets heavy when they realize the young master has already arrived.
The guards are still whining, asking if they really have to greet that good-for-nothing. The audacity of these simps is unreal.
Han Yeep has to remind them who actually pays their salaries.
He tells them to stop whining and get moving. They are about to meet a version of Genion that will make them want to reconsider every life choice they have ever made. Genion arrives at the massive estate and even he is impressed. The scale of the wealth he inherited is insane. It is basically a palace built on merchant gold. He is walking in like he owns the place, because, well, he basically does. He notices the atmosphere is colder than a freezer. Not a single person is there to welcome him properly.
He realizes his past self was such a disaster that even the servants are probably hiding.
He sends his maids to rest and prepares to face the music alone. Suddenly, the guard squad appears, swords raised in a formal salute. It looks cool, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a blade. Han Yeep steps forward to officially greet him, and everyone is waiting for the old Genion to say something stupid. Instead, Genion politely thanks them for their service. The entire squad goes into a state of shock. They were expecting a tantrum or an insult, but instead, they got a refined nobleman.
The vice captain is relieved, but the subordinates are losing their minds over how healthy he looks.
Just as things were getting peaceful, the third son, Li Jian, enters the chat. This guy is the definition of a small-energied brother. He immediately starts hurling insults, calling Genion a perverted loser and mocking his new, serious expression. Jian is out here acting like he owns the courtyard, completely ignoring the fact that his brother looks like he could bench press a horse. He even starts bullying the vice captain for showing Genion respect, literally smacking the poor guy. This kid really chose violence today. Han Yeep takes the hit, but Genion eyes are turning cold. He is watching his arrogant little brother act like a total psycho.
The guards are terrified, thinking Genion is about to get bullied again just like the old days.
They have no idea what is coming. Jian is still yapping, calling Genion an insane bastard for even looking him in the eye.
He thinks he is the alpha because the father is bedridden.
He is even threatening to teach his older brother a lesson. Talk about a death wish. Genion has heard enough. He grabs his brother with a grip that probably feels like a hydraulic press.
The arrogance on Jian's face starts to flicker as he realizes he can't move.
The perverted brother he knew is gone, there is only the Fist King now. With zero effort, Genion forces his arrogant younger brother to his knees. The sound of Jian hitting the floor is music to our ears. The guards are standing there with their mouths open, unable to process that the good-for-nothing just neutralized the family bully in seconds.
Jian is screaming and crying like a spoiled brat, but Genian's presence is overwhelming.
He leans in close, his aura suffocating the room.
He firmly reminds the little rascal that from now on, he will address him with proper respect as big brother.
The lesson in manners is officially in session. Genion isn't just back, he is here to clean house. If this is how he treats his own family, the Ouyang clan better start writing their wills right now. The king has returned, and he is not taking any more trash. Jaeyeon is left trembling on the floor, his pride shattered into a million pieces.
The guards realize that the power dynamic in the Yunha merchant group has shifted forever.
The era of the frail young master is dead, and the era of the Fist King has officially begun. As Jineon walks away, leaving his brother in the dirt, the message is clear: don't mistake kindness for weakness. He is heading straight for his father's room, and anyone who stands in his way is going to get a first-class ticket to the hospital. The return of the heir is the beginning of a total nightmare for his enemies. With his father ill and his brothers acting like fools, Jineon is ready to take the reins and show the world what happens when a legend gets a second chance at life. Look at Lee Hwayeon sprinting like he is late for a limited-time sale. The second son of the Yunha merchant group hears his brothers are having a cage match and rushes to his father's chambers, probably expecting to see a murder scene. He bursts in and finds a sight more confusing than a math exam. The arrogant third son, Jaeyeon, is usually a loudmouthed brat, but right now? He is as quiet and trembling as a kitten in a thunderstorm while facing his older brother. RMC, Jineon, is giving off that "I am done with your nonsense" energy. He is holding the brat by the collar, looking like he is about to toss out the trash, while Hwayeon just stands there with his glasses fogging up from the sheer confusion. Jineon drops a casual but terrifying warning. He tells his little brother that wielding a sword against family is a one-way ticket to a brutal beating. It is the ultimate big brother talk, and Jaeyeon is officially humbled and terrified for his life. The onlookers are absolutely losing it. They cannot believe this is the same weakling they used to push around. Jineon looks like he ate a badass fruit for breakfast, and Hwayeon is struggling to reconcile this commanding beast with the brother he once knew.
Jaeyeon is literally crying in the corner now.
It is glorious. Imagine being such a failed bully that your weak brother turns into a literal demon and makes you question your entire existence with just a look and a slap. Hwayeon notes that Jineon is a completely different person.
Our former Fist King just gives him a knowing, savage smile that basically says you have no idea.
The transition from local simp to absolute unit is officially complete.
Jineon starts digging through the internal records and realizes the family business is basically a Swiss cheese of traitors.
He notices a disturbing pattern: every single new hire is a plant from the Oyang clan. He connects the dots faster than a conspiracy theorist. The doctor who tried to poison him and all these guards are part of a massive infiltration led by a snake named Oyang Hu. The house is literally crawling with pests. Time for a quick loyalty check. Jineon turns to his siblings and asks if they are in on the Oyang clan's plot to steal the family business. He is basically giving them one chance to prove they are not absolute red flags before he deletes them. The brothers react with such genuine horror that it is almost funny. They might be annoying, but they are not suicidal. Seeing their loyalty is real, Jineon decides they get to live another day, sparing them from his legendary wrath. RMC is not just playing defense anymore. He announces he is going to attend the high-level conference tomorrow to start some aggressive restructuring. By restructuring, he definitely means breaking some bones and taking names. He finally enters his father's room. The leader of the group, Lee Seongmin, is looking absolutely drained. He is bedridden and physically depleted from all the stress of his business being slowly cannibalized by vultures. Seeing his old man in such a pathetic state actually strikes a chord.
Jineon realizes how much his father has suffered while he was away. It is the classic son returning to fix everything moment, but with way more violence.
Jineon holds his father's hand and makes a cold promise: he is going to eliminate the root cause of all this stress.
His smile is so chilling that even his dying father looks a bit unsettled, like he is not sure if a son or a reaper just walked in.
We get a quick flashback to the original Jineon's memories. The father was once a great and big person in the boy's eyes. Seeing him so small and frail now is the ultimate motivation for the Fist King to go full John Wick on his enemies. The contrast is heartbreaking. The giant man who held his hand as a child is now a withered shell. Jineon tucks him in like he is preparing for a war, his eyes glowing with the kind of intent that usually ends in a high body count. As he leaves, the aura he projects is heavy enough to crush a weakling. He is done playing the role of the recovering patient. Tomorrow, the merchant group is going to learn exactly why you do not mess with the king's family. The next day, the conference starts, and it is a total circus of traitors. Ouyang, who is sitting there looking smug, acting like he already owns the place. He is the guard squad leader and the main leech sucking the family dry. Ouyang, who sees the eldest son enter and immediately starts mocking him.
He thinks Genion is just there to beg for his position.
The level of overconfidence this man has is actually impressive considering he is about to hit a brick wall. This snake tries to pull a power move. He suggests assigning one of his own lackeys as Genion's personal guard. It is a blatant attempt to keep the MC under constant surveillance while acting like he is doing him a favor. Ouyang, who is literally laughing, manipulating the crowd and treating the MC like a joke.
He thinks he has already won the game.
He is basically dancing on a landmine and calling it a performance. Suddenly, Genion stands up and interrupts the whole circus. He calmly states that he has some complaints and a counter-proposal of his own. The room goes quiet as the weakling walks toward the center with absolute boss energy. He points directly at the traitor and suggests the immediate termination of Ouyang Hu. The shock in the room is so loud you could hear a pin drop, followed by a wave of disbelief. He really just fired the most powerful man in the room.
Ouyang Hu starts laughing like a maniac, asking how a bedridden fool thinks he has any say over him. He thinks influence and muscle are everything, completely unaware that he is talking to a man who could flatten him with a finger.
The MC lets out a punch that literally shatters the ground and the traitor's confidence.
The shockwave alone is enough to remind everyone that the Fist King is back.
He asserts his authority, declaring that the Yunha merchant group belongs to him alone.
Dust settles as Genion looms over the terrified master. He reminds the traitor that he forgot who the real owner is just because he gained a little influence.
The message is clear, the cleanup has officially begun, and nobody is safe. Imagine being so slow that you can't even keep up with the guy you're supposed to be advising. Waiyan is struggling for his life while Genion marches toward the General Assembly like he's about to collect a debt. Our young master isn't just going for a walk, though. He's about to fire the local powerhouse, Guard Captain Ouyang Hu.
He drops some cold truth on the way, explaining that in the Jianghu, if you let people underestimate you, you're basically asking to be eaten alive.
Look at the Yunha merchant group, it's being devoured as we speak. They step into the assembly and it's looking like a reunion for the Ouyang clan. The place is crawling with them, and the atmosphere is thicker than the plot armor of a generic cultivation protagonist. Genion isn't even flinching. He's got that older brother energy, telling everyone to relax while he handles this mess.
It's funny how the people who think they've already won are always the easiest to trigger.
And right on cue, we have our first volunteer for the Darwin Awards. Some random guard actually has the audacity to draw a sword against Genion. The room goes wild, calling him a troublemaker and a madman, but Genion just stands there like he's waiting for a delivery. It's pure comedy watching these extras get worked up over a guy who could probably end them with a sneeze. Genion finally decides to educate this little punk on basic workplace etiquette.
He asks if it's normal to draw a sword against your employer, reminding them that they're basically signed up for a death wish.
Then he turns his attention to the big boss, Ouyang Hu. He says he feels a bit bad for ruining the captain's retirement plans, which is savage considering the captain's retirement plan was basically stealing the whole company. Time for the receipts. Genion starts exposing the captain's dirty laundry, revealing how he used physician Gong Sun Myung to try and assassinate him while he was supposedly resting. He even details the captain's brilliant plan to make the siblings fight each other so their father would collapse from the stress. It's a classic villain move, trying to take over the group without lifting a finger, but Genion is about to flip the script. The captain tries to laugh it off as a delusion, but Genion drops a bombshell that shuts everyone up. That physician who was supposed to kill him? Yeah, he's already dead. Genion dispatched him in a single strike.
He even has the nerve to tell the captain not to be too sad about it.
He roasts the captain's work ethic, saying if you're going to steal a major merchant group, you should at least put in some effort. Ouyang Hu finally snaps, calling him an arrogant brat and launching a murderous attack.
He really thought he had him, but Genion is basically a walking cheat code now.
A massive surge of blue lightning energy erupts, blocking the strike effortlessly.
The captain's face when he realizes his prey is actually a predator is worth more than the entire merchant group's inventory.
The whole room is in a state of absolute shock. Lightning energy? Since when did the weak little young master become a martial arts prodigy? Genion is just standing there, complaining that it's not very nice to strike someone who just finished recuperating. He's being so cocky it's almost illegal, treating the captain like a confused little chick that just learned how to fly.
The captain tries to save face by demanding an official duel, thinking his years of experience will save him.
Genion agrees, but he ups the stakes because he's just that extra. He doesn't want a regular duel, he wants a life or death struggle. No holds barred, no mercy, just one guy walking away. The captain is smiling like he's won the lottery, but we all know he's just bought a front row ticket to his own funeral. The captain starts yapping about how Genion might have some skill but lacks experience.
He thinks he's teaching a lesson, but Genion is the one who's about to school him.
When the captain blathers on about the difference in their experience, Genion basically tells him that he's 100 years too early to even speak that word to him. The disrespect is legendary. The fight kicks off and it's not even a contest. Genion activates his enlightened mobility art and starts moving so fast the captain's eyes can't even track him.
Ouyang, who is sweating bullets now, wondering where this insane strength is coming from. He's being pushed back by a guy he thought was a total pushover, and the realization is hitting him harder than Genion's fists.
Genion is putting on a masterclass in how to humble a fake. The pressure he's radiating is so intense that the captain feels like he's facing a literal god of war. Every strike the captain throws is countered, and every move he makes is anticipated. The witnesses can only watch in silence as the supposed master gets dismantled by a guy who's treating the whole thing like a light warm-up.
Ouyang, who tries one last desperate sword art, screaming that he won't lose to a brat.
But Genion is already behind him. Using his rapid stride, he appears in the captain's blind spot and whispers a cold farewell. One final, devastating blow sends the captain flying through the floor, ending the fight and the captain's career in one go. It's a clean finish for a guy who talked way too much. The dust settles and the silence in the room is deafening. Genion's father is looking at his son like he's seeing a ghost, and the rest of the assembly is too scared to even breathe. The captain is lying in a heap, bleeding and broken, while his loyal guards are having a collective existential crisis.
They start running toward him, crying out for their captain, but the power dynamic has already shifted forever.
Genion looks at the remaining Ouyang trash and asks if they want to join their captain in the afterlife. One guard tries to be smart and testifies that the duel was fair, probably hoping to keep his head. Genion doesn't care about their excuses, though. He declares that he'll take full responsibility for any grudges or revenge the Ouyang clan wants to bring. He's basically inviting them to try him, and nobody is brave enough to take the bait. Our young master then gives a speech that actually has some heart. He says the Yunha merchant group doesn't belong to parasitic scum like the Ouyang clan.
It belongs to his father, the loyal guards who welcomed him back, and even the stable hands who were just happy to see him eat.
He's drawing a line in the sand, letting everyone know that the days of the group being toyed with are officially over. Then comes the best part, the mass firing. He tells the whole Ouyang squad to get lost because they're all fired. The shock on their faces is priceless. They try to walk away with some dignity, but they're basically leaving with their tails between their legs. The loyal guard squad is trying to celebrate, but their leader tells them to be ashamed for just standing by and watching. At least they're on the winning side now. To wrap things up, Genion orders the chief administrator to buy him the highest quality elixir available. He's taking full advantage of his new position to boost his training even further.
He's also planning to rebuild the guard squad and already has some specific, powerful people in mind.
The chapter ends with a mysterious new character looking interested in Genion, proving that the real fun is just getting started. We are jumping back a few days to see our MC's first official day at the Yunha Merchant Group, and let me tell you, his first impression of the staff is absolute trash. He is looking at these high-level employees and realizing they are basically just professional leeches living off his family's hard work. While the real workers are grinding themselves to the bone, these lazy bums are slacking off and treating the company budget like a personal lottery win. RMC is already planning a massive HR purge because he cannot stand seeing these red flags walking around his building.
He sits down with the vice captain and makes it crystal clear that they need some real muscle to replace the corrupt guards he is about to fire.
He is not looking for typical guards, he wants top-tier talent that can actually hold a sword without shaking. He heads straight to the local gambling den, a place where the original owner of this body was legendary for being the ultimate pushover. To these thugs, RMC is not a master, he is just a walking ATM that they have missed dearly while he was sick. The thugs at the entrance are genuinely shocked to see him alive, but they do not show any respect. Instead, they are already whispering about how they are going to swindle him out of every single coin he has on him today. One insolent lowlife tries to get way too comfortable and put his hands on RMC, but the vibe shifts instantly. The MC hits him with the ultimate roast, telling the guy to get lost before he gets pig grease all over his clean clothes. He finally walks into the inner sanctum to meet Chulmyeongo, also known as the Poisonous Fox. This guy is the definition of a fake friend who has spent his entire life exploiting the MC's kindness and bank account. Standing guard like absolute units are the Yuck twins, the heavy hitters who keep this illegal operation running.
RMC takes one look at them and realizes these guys are the real deal, unlike the trash-tier boss they are currently serving.
It turns out the history between these two was never about friendship, it was just a cycle of one-sided violence and financial extortion. Myungo is so arrogant that he openly admits he was itching for the MC to return just so he could start bleeding him for money again. While this fox is busy yapping and insulting him, RMC is just standing there with a cold stare, evaluating the twins.
He is thinking it is such a waste for these two capable fighters to be rotting away under a pathetic loser like Myungo.
Breaking the awkward silence, the MC decides he is done playing games and demands that the fox hand over the vault key to the entire establishment right now. The room goes silent because nobody expected the local simp to show this much backbone. He calmly starts listing the bill, calculating every single niang he was forced to invest over the years plus some heavy interest. He even adds in the medical bills for all the times he was beaten up, showing he has kept a very detailed receipt for his trauma. After doing the math, he tells them the total debt is exactly 100,000 niang.
Myungo just starts laughing like a maniac, thinking the MC has finally lost his mind after being sick for so long.
The fox's laughter turns into pure rage when he realizes the MC is being dead serious.
He starts screaming about whether the young master has developed a death wish or if he just forgot who runs things in this gambling den.
Myungo orders the twins to pin the MC to the ground so he can straighten him out with another brutal beating.
He thinks he is about to humble a spoiled brat, but he has no idea he is dealing with a literal martial arts god.
The twins move in to finish the job, but the MC does not even flinch. He is looking at them with a smirk, knowing that this is the perfect moment to show these brothers exactly what a real master looks like. In a display of speed that should be illegal, the MC moves before anyone can even blink. Before the twins can even register a threat, he has already closed the distance and prepared to deliver a world of pain. With surgical precision, he shatters the wrists and ankles of both twin brothers in a single fluid motion. The sound of breaking bones echoes through the room as the two heavy hitters are neutralized in less than a second. Despite their limbs being completely destroyed, the twins do something that actually surprises RMC.
They force themselves back up, showing absolutely zero fear in their eyes even though they are clearly outmatched.
This display of grit earns them the genuine respect of the former Fist King.
He realizes these guys are not just thugs, they are warriors with a code, and they are way too valuable to be wasted on a lowlife like the fox.
He tells the twins to stay put for their own safety, basically giving them a pass because he likes their spirit. Now that the muscle is out of the way, he turns his attention to the terrified man behind the desk.
Before Myungo can even scream for help, the MC uses his godlike speed to vanish from sight.
He is moving so fast that he has basically become a ghost in his own former childhood playground. He reappears directly behind his terrified former friend, whispering that he is not going to warn him twice.
The fox's face turns pale as he realizes the pushover he used to bully is now the most dangerous person in the room.
With the twins defeated and the boss cornered, RMC is finally in control of the situation.
He looks at Manga with a savage smile, ready to collect every single penny of that 100,000 Niang debt with interest.
Imagine thinking your childhood punching bag is still a weakling only to find him standing over a pile of bodies.
Our boy Jineon is back, and Myeongo is currently reconsidering every life choice that led him to this room. Myeongo tries to play it cool, but he is shaking in his boots. He actually has the audacity to ask why Jineon was grinding martial arts levels instead of doing math during his recovery. Sorry buddy, arithmetic does not help when you are about to get folded.
This clown really thinks he can end this with a surprise first strike because he still sees Jineon as a pushover.
He screams about how the first hit wins, but we all know that is the classic famous last words of a soon-to-be-beaten fraud.
Talk about a reality check. Jineon does not even break a sweat as he shuts down that pathetic attempt. The power gap here is wider than Myeongo's ego, and the visual of him getting absolutely wrecked is pure therapy for us. Jineon hits him with a savage counterstrike that literally lights up the room. Myeongo is currently experiencing what it feels like to be a side character in a high-tier cultivation manhwa, and spoiler alert, it hurts a lot. Our resident bully is now officially a floor decoration.
He is lying there wondering if Jineon went through some secret hellish training just to get revenge for being bullied.
Honestly, if it results in this level of satisfaction, it was worth every second. Myeongo starts laughing like a total psycho, trying to mask the fact that he is terrified.
He realizes his friend is now a monster, and the realization is hitting him harder than that last punch.
Now comes the desperate manipulation. Myeongo starts yapping about their lifelong friendship and shared history. He is trying to act like they are tight just to keep his precious keys. The level of red flag energy here is off the charts. Jineon is not buying any of this garbage. He tells Myeongo to get off him because his fake emotional acting is making him physically sick. Watching a manipulator get rejected this hard is exactly why we love this series. Pivoting faster than a politician, Myeongo declares they are now sworn brothers. He even tells his twin subordinates, Myeongbo and Jinbo, to show respect. Deep down, he is just planning to grab the twins and run the moment Jineon looks away. Jineon checks the twins' loyalty, but then he pulls a power move. He sends them outside so he can settle the hierarchy with Myeongo privately. You know it is about to get ugly when the witnesses are dismissed. Jineon drops the bombshell, he is taking the twins to raise them properly. Myeongo has a total meltdown, begging Jineon to just kill him instead of taking his men. Careful what you wish for, buddy, because Jineon looks ready to oblige. The vibe goes from 0 to deadly real in a second.
Jineon prepares a lethal blow, and Myeongo finally realizes that this is not a game of friendship anymore.
Death is knocking, and it has Jineon's face.
Watching Myeongo scream for his life while surrendering the keys is the peak of this episode.
He went from poisonous fox to terrified puppy real quick. He officially admits defeat, handing over the leadership of the twins to our protagonist. Myeongo tries to cope by saying the Yunha merchant group is a better place for the twins than a trashy gambling den.
It is a logical argument, but he looks like he wants to cry into his leopard print rug.
The ultimate humiliation happens when the twins just walk away with Jineon without even a backward glance. Myeongo is left alone, calling them ungrateful bald bastards while his soul slowly leaves his body. With the poisonous fox weakened and alone, the local thugs come out of the woodwork like cockroaches. They figure it is the perfect time to kill a legend. Myeongo is basically a walking corpse at this point. Just when it looks like lights out for Myeongo, Jineon pulls a classic hero return. He roasts the thugs for being classless vultures who only attack half-dead men. Even after all that bullying, Jineon is still the bigger man. The biggest twist of all? The twins thank Jineon for saving Myeongo.
It turns out they were not slaves or followers out of fear, they actually had a genuine bond with that crazy fox.
Jineon realizes that even in his second life, reading people's true intentions is the hardest mission of all.
He walks away with his new crew, leaving a very confused and very beaten Myeongo in the dust. As the dust settles, the power dynamic in this city has officially shifted. Our boy has the keys, the twins, and the respect of the streets.
Myungo is lucky to be alive, and someone is watching from the shadows wondering if that is really the Jinyeon they knew.
The chapter ends with a lingering question about who is truly pulling the strings in this world.
But for now, we feast on the tears of fallen bullies.
Stay tuned, because the real drama is only just beginning. Jinyeon's transformation is leaving everyone speechless. The twins are carrying the boxes, the sun is setting on the old regime, and our protagonist is looking more like a king every single day.
People used to wonder why those twins followed a psycho like Myungo.
Was it fear? Slavery? Nope. It was a bond that even Jinyeon underestimated. This world is messy, but our boy is finally learning how to navigate the chaos. As Jinyeon walks into the sunset, the mystery deepens. Someone is spying on him, shocked by his new strength. Is it a new enemy or an old flame? We will find out next time, you simps.
Imagine coming back home after a glow-up so hard your own family thinks you are a stranger.
Since Lee Jinyeon returned to the Yunha merchant group, the piece is officially dead and buried. Not only did he show up with a mountain of cash, but he brought two massive, bald bodyguards who look like they eat rocks for breakfast.
His brother Hwayeon is already losing his mind because the family dynamic just got flipped upside down.
Just when things could not get any more chaotic, a massive shipment rolls in like it is Christmas in the martial arts world. We are talking about legendary medicinal herbs, including the rare 100-year tuber fleece flower that people usually wait in line for since dawn. This is not just a delivery, it is a full-blown declaration that the young master is about to become a monster. Out walks Lee Seongmin, the group leader, and surprise, the old man is looking healthier than ever. Apparently, seeing his son actually do something productive for once has acted like a shot of adrenaline to his soul. He is out here walking around and making big moves while his subordinates look on in absolute awe.
Hwayeon, being the professional hater he is, sees all these elixirs and thinks he is finally getting a participation trophy.
He is literally sparkling with joy, asking if there is one for him too.
But the father shuts that down faster than a failed business deal, telling him that every single drop of that expensive medicine is reserved for his brother Jinyeon. The look on Hwayeon's face is pure, unadulterated pain. The group leader is not playing around with the family budget anymore. He justifies the insane cost by pointing out they already wasted way more money on the backstabbing Oyang clan and those frauds at the Little Deity sect. He is doubling down on Jinyeon, reaching out to all his big merchant buddies to buy up every high-quality elixir in existence. If his son wants to be a legend, the father is going to bankroll the entire journey. While the guards are all hyped up seeing the first young master turn into a legit martial artist, Hwayeon is over in the corner drowning in his own salt. He cannot believe he is being sidelined like a background character in his own life. He is watching his inheritance literally go down his brother's throat in the form of glowing medicine. Hwayeon finally snaps and demands to know why he is being discriminated against. The father just gives him this cold, savage smirk that says everything. He basically asks if a lazy bum like Hwayeon would even know what to do with powerful medicine. It is a top-tier roast that leaves the younger brother speechless and questioning his entire existence. Driven by pure spite and confusion, Hwayeon follows his brother to see what kind of training justifies this much investment. He expects to see some fancy sword waving, but instead, he finds Jinyeon in the middle of a workout that would make a Spartan weep. RMC is out here treating his body like a temple of destruction. Jinyeon decides to take a casual stroll, but there is a catch. He is dragging a massive boulder across the estate grounds like it is a designer handbag. Hwayeon is watching from the shadows, absolutely horrified.
Who in their right mind calls dragging a literal mountain a walk? This is the moment Hwayeon realizes his brother is officially built different.
After the boulder-dragging madness, Hwayeon tries to be sneaky and replicate the moves he saw Jinyeon use to humiliate Oyang-hu. He is out there swinging his sword, trying to figure out the secret sauce behind the MC's power. Little does he know, the former Fist King has eyes in the back of his head and has been watching him the whole time. Jinyeon jumps out and scares the life out of his brother before delivering a brutal critique. He tells Waiyan that his recreation of the captain's technique was actually spot on because it was just as sloppy and pathetic. Imagine getting roasted for being too accurate at being bad. That is the level of disrespect we are dealing with here. The MC starts dropping some high-level combat knowledge, explaining exactly why the captain's approach was a total failure. He shows how he destroyed the man's feint and closed the distance before the guy could even blink. It is a masterclass in tactical violence, and Waiyan is just standing there trying not to pee himself. He breaks down the three-form sword art, calling it a lethal one-hit kill move that requires way too much caution to be effective against someone like him. Jineon is basically telling his brother that fancy names do not mean anything if you cannot hit your target. He is out here teaching combat psychology while Waiyan is just trying to process the fact that his brother is a literal god of war.
Once he is alone, Jineon gets all philosophical and realizes that his current body is basically trash compared to his prime.
He calculates that he is barely at a quarter of the strength he had as the Fist King.
Most people would be happy being a local powerhouse, but our MC is disgusted that he is even struggling with small fry like Oh Yang Hu.
The warrior remembers the enemies from his past life, the ones even he could not overcome at his peak. This is the real motivation. He does not just want to be strong, he needs to become an absolute deity to make sure he never tastes defeat again. The training intensity is about to go from a 10 to 100 real quick. The serious vibe is interrupted by the arrival of some old playboy friends, Ju Jaryong and Sima Guk. These guys used to run the streets with the old Jineon, chasing girls and wasting money. They heard rumors about his change and came to see if their favorite party animal had really turned into a monk. They are in for a very rude awakening. When they finally see him, they are completely speechless. The man standing before them is not the skinny playboy they knew, he is a hulking tower of muscle and killing intent.
They literally start wondering if the merchant leader just adopted a new, better kid and threw the old Jineon in a dumpster somewhere.
The cognitive dissonance is hitting them hard. Jineon does not even give them the time of day. He maintains his boss energy, ordering his servant Myo Hyang to take the twins to get fed because big guys need big bowls.
As the playboys stand there paralyzed by his overwhelming pressure, they are internally screaming for someone to save them.
Welcome to the new era, boys, the playboy is dead, and the king is here to stay. Meet the self-proclaimed 4 heavenly kings of wine and women. Sounds legendary, right? Wrong. It is actually just a bunch of high-tier playboys and losers, including a guy with irritable bowel syndrome and our former pushover lead, Lee Jineon. They have all gathered at the merchant estate because they cannot believe the local weakling actually returned from exile looking like a total snack. These so-called friends are practically vibrating with curiosity, trying to figure out how their bottom-tier buddy suddenly grew a backbone. Jineon remembers these guys as the unruly drunken idiots who spent every waking hour chasing skirts and liquor. It is the ultimate gathering of the Red Flag Squad, and honestly, the vibes are immaculate. As they sit down to eat, the atmosphere shifts faster than a mood swing. Jineon is eating with such a terrifying intensity that his friends are low-key scared he might bite the table. One of them even grabs his arm, realizing that this is not just secret training, this man has reached a level of martial arts that should be physically impossible for a merchant heir.
The rumors are true, our boy actually crushed Ouyang Hu, and the group is losing their minds.
When they demand to know who taught him, Jineon just hits them with the classic "I got lucky" line.
He claims it was just a fateful encounter in the Jianghu, but we all know that his main characters speak for, "I have a cheat code and you do not."
Jineon looks them dead in the eye and drops the coldest line yet, stating that the old version of himself is effectively dead. He is not here for the wine or the ladies anymore. He has got massive debts to repay to the faction that ruined him, and he is going to help the merchant group while preparing for a total war. Talk about a glow-up with a side of vengeance. The playboys are left feeling incredibly awkward because their favorite drinking buddy is now a literal killing machine.
They realize they are basically walking into the wrong house at this point. Jineon is laser-focused on getting stronger, leaving the rest of the squad wondering if they should have kidnapped him before he got sent away.
Sima Guk tries to play it off, saying this exile was actually a good thing for Jineon to recover and change.
Jineon just gives a hauntingly calm smile, agreeing that the change is exactly what he needed.
You can practically see the main character energy radiating off him while his friends just stand there looking like background NPCs. The group tries to celebrate the transformation, but the gap between them is becoming a canyon. They pour drinks and try to force the old vibes, but Jineon is just built different now. Even the way he holds a cup is intimidating. It is a celebratory toast that feels more like a funeral for their shared past of being total wrecks. The banter is still there, with the guys roasting each other about being hungover or taking long bathroom breaks, but the realization is sinking in. Even Jineon had real friends once, but those days are fading. He is looking at them like they are relics of a life he has already outgrown, and it is honestly a bit savage to watch. Jineon asks the million-dollar question, what about them? Are they going to change too? The group immediately defaults to their unruly wreck personas, laughing it off and saying they would not be themselves if they changed easily. It is the classic frogs in a well mentality, and Jineon is the only one who bothered to look at the sky. They clink cups one last time, but the reflection in the wine tells the real story. They are all still stuck in their shallow little well while Jineon has already climbed out and seen how big the world really is. The bittersweet realization that their group is effectively broken is hitting them hard, even through the drunken laughter. One of them finally admits it, the worst screw-up of the bunch is the only one who actually grew up. As they watch Jineon walk away, the feeling of youth being over sets in. It is a rare moment of self-reflection for a bunch of guys who usually only care about the next brothel visit, and the loneliness is starting to bite. The playboys depart, telling Jineon to keep training so he does not get beaten up again. It is a nice sentiment, but they are the ones who look small now. As they walk through the night, they try to decide between going home to study or hitting up a sweet scent house for one more round. Old habits die hard, especially when you are a dedicated simp. Simaguk is still complaining about flunking his exams, proving that some things never change. They head towards the sweet scent house, trying to reclaim a youth that is clearly slipping through their fingers.
Meanwhile, the real plot is thickening elsewhere, and it involves a lot more blood than their usual bar fights.
We shift to the base of the little deity sect, where sect leader Yeom Jisung is busy being a total psycho. He gets the news that Ouyang-hu is dead, and his reaction is basically L+ ratio. He cannot believe a supposed swordsman got crushed in less than 30 exchanges by a kid using nothing but his bare fists. The report is brutal. Ouyang-hu did not just lose, he was absolutely demolished. The sect leader shows zero sympathy for his fallen friend, mocking him for being a disgrace to the martial world. This guy is a textbook red flag, caring more about the sect's reputation than the fact that his top guy just got turned into a floor mat. Yeom Jisung is obsessed with the fact that Jineon used fists against a sword. He calls it a total disgrace and refuses to even consider the idea of revenge because it was a fair duel.
But do not let that fool you into thinking he is a man of honor.
He's just a different kind of snake with a much bigger appetite. The sect leader claims they are not thugs, but his actions tell a different story. When a subordinate mentions their friendship with the deceased, Yeom Jisung literally strikes them down.
This guy is a cold-blooded monster who thinks befriending a corpse is for losers.
He wants the body cleared out immediately so he can focus on the real prize. The real prize is, of course, the massive wealth of the Yunha merchant group. The sect leader is already calculating how much the young heir would be worth as a hostage. He does not care about Ouyang-hu, he cares that the merchant group stopped paying their protection taxes. It is all about the money, and he is ready to burn everything to get it. Yeom Jisung is a master manipulator, already planning his next move while sipping his drink. He views the merchant group's defiance as a direct insult to the little deity sect.
He is wondering just how much a master negotiator like Lee Seongmin would pay to get his precious son back.
This is not a duel anymore, it is a high-stakes kidnapping plot.
Back at the estate, Simaguk comes running back in a total panic.
He has heard the rumors that the little deity sect is about to launch an all-out assault. He is terrified because Ouyang-hu is gone and the house has no proper guards left. He is ready to go beg for help, but Jineon is just standing there looking like he is bored. Jineon knows exactly what is up. He recognizes the little deity sect as the same group of backstabbers who were working with Ouyang-hu all along. While Sima Guk is having a mental breakdown, our lead is already 3 steps ahead. He is not going to wait for them to attack, he is going to bring the fight to their front door. Jineon drags a terrified Sima Guk to the guard warehouse and tells him to gear up. The plan is simple, they are going to raid the sect's stronghold and finish them off before breakfast. Sima Guk is realizing that his friend is not just strong, he is actually insane. They are heading into a base swarming with guards, and Jineon is yawning like it is a grocery run. They arrive at the heavily fortified base, and it is crawling with countless guards. Sima Guk is desperately asking for a genius plan, but Jineon has something better. He is tapping into his past life as the Fist King, deciding that for today, he is going to handle things the old-fashioned way. It is time for a total massacre, and the little deity sect has no idea what is coming for them. Imagine being so addicted to catching hands that you have never once backed down from a fight since you were a literal toddler. Meet Dan Wuzing, a man who treated every day like a round of Street Fighter. From a wandering orphan with nothing to his name to the absolute unit known as the legendary Fist King, this man's entire personality was built on the thrill of the brawl. Fast forward to the present, and our boy Jineon is keeping that same energy by barging into the little deity sect's front door like he owns the lease to the building.
The local guards are having a total meltdown over his insolence, but Jineon just stares them down, making it crystal clear that if he has to ask for their leader a second time, it is going to get very ugly very fast.
Just when the tension is peaking, the big boss Yeom Ji-sung finally decides to show his face, wondering which suicidal brat is currently turning his front gate into a circus.
When asked for his business, Jineon deadpans that he is an assassin who just happens to prefer the direct approach. The sect leader is confused until he recognizes those expensive hands belong to the heir of the Yunha merchant group. Suddenly, the old man's fake hospitality evaporates faster than a simp's bank account.
He sees a golden opportunity to grab some massive leverage over the merchant group.
Without a shred of shame, Ji-sung drops the mask and orders his entire army of disciples to seize the young master, clearly planning to turn this into a high-stakes kidnapping. Jineon just takes a moment to reflect on how long it has been since he was this outnumbered. Even though his current body is a bit of a downgrade from his previous life, he is feeling that familiar itch to start cracking skulls. The fight kicks off with a level of violence that would make a horror movie villain blush. Jineon starts tearing through the sect members like they are made of wet tissue paper.
It is a total massacre as the disciples realize their fancy swords are useless against a guy who is sending them into orbit, using nothing but his bare fists in pure spite.
The survivors are left in total shock, staring at this monster who doesn't even feel the need to draw a weapon to humble an entire room full of trained warriors. Realizing his goons are just fodder, Yeom Ji-sung pulls out a hidden, ridiculously expensive projectile weapon, desperate to end this nightmare before he loses his entire payroll. In a move that defines red flag behavior, the sect leader fires a massive volley of steel spikes right through his own disciples just to get a shot at Jineon. Talk about a toxic workplace. RMC is genuinely disgusted by this level of cowardice. He notes that even the lowest, most depraved thugs in the underworld would look down on a leader who treats his men like human shields. To the total disbelief of everyone still breathing, Jineon draws a dagger and starts deflecting every single steel spike midair with the kind of precision that shouldn't even be legal. He admits that while he used a blade as a one-time special exception for this mess, he still prefers to finish things the old-fashioned way.
The sect leader is officially in full-blown panic mode.
It finally clicks for Ji-sung that he isn't fighting a sheltered rich kid.
This boy's combat instincts and cold-blooded efficiency are those of a seasoned veteran who has seen more blood than a trauma surgeon.
Desperate to save his own skin, the old man starts babbling about bribes, offering to pay Jineon handsomely if he just agrees to spare his miserable life. Jineon just looks at him with pure contempt.
He is not interested in the blood money, and makes it clear that he finds the sect leader's habit of pricing human lives like market goods absolutely revolting.
The MC tells the coward to keep his coins, because where he is going, money won't be able to buy him a way out of the beating that is currently scheduled for his face. As the legendary Fist King spirit takes over, Jineon prepares to deliver the final lecture. It is not about the money or the power anymore, it is about putting down a pathetic dog who forgot his place. Yeom Jisun tries one last desperate plea, but Jineon is already mid-swing, proving once again that in this world, your bank account doesn't mean squat when you are facing a man who was born to fight.
The final blow lands with the weight of 1,000 regrets, leaving the sect leader broken and the rest of the sect wondering why they ever bothered showing up to work today.
Standing over the wreckage, Jineon looks down at the trash he just took out, calling the entire situation disgusting. This is what happens when you try to play games with a reincarnated legend who only speaks the language of violence. Look at this, our local playboy Sima Guk is actually trying to act like a gentleman for once. He is busy escorting a lady back from the sweet scent house, and honestly, the change of pace is almost suspicious. The girl is shocked he even knows her name, but Sima is playing it cool, claiming he has seen her around and that being Jineon's bestie makes it obvious. He is really leaning into this new good guy persona, isn't he? She tries to thank him with a bottle of top-tier Dukang wine, but he shuts it down faster than a bad blind date. He claims he is done with the brothel life for good, inspired by how much Jineon has leveled up lately. Speaking of our main man, Jineon is currently contemplating his next move while looking like a total snack. He decides that before he saves the world, he definitely needs to save his stomach because it is officially breakfast time. He is currently hosting a feast for the twin guards, Jinbo and Myungbo, telling these two absolute units to eat until they pop. The twins are low-key impressed that this merchant group feeds them 7 times a day, which honestly sounds like the dream job. But it is not all sunshine and drumsticks. Jineon is still salty about that recent ambush. He is beating himself up because his instincts were too dull to stop the surprise attack, and that is a major red flag for a martial arts master.
He realizes that if he wants to protect this merchant group from the coming demonic storm, standard training just won't cut it. Suddenly, a delivery arrives, and the young master is wondering who is sending him fan mail in the middle of a meal.
It is a gift from Guang, who is bragging about only having one drink at the tavern lately. He is basically asking for a gold star for his huge improvement in the sobriety department while dropping off a special delivery. Turns out, Guang was supposed to deliver this to Jineon's dad but got distracted by booze. Inside the box are century-old tuber fleece flowers, and these things are glowing like they just walked off a movie set.
Jineon realizes these aren't just 100 years old. They are closer to 5 centuries, which is basically a cheat code for his white lightning art.
But wait, there is more. There is a second gift from the Taeho merchant group as a thank you for his loyalty.
He suspects his dad pulled some serious strings to get this, and when he opens the next box he nearly loses his mind.
We are talking about azurite essence, the kind of legendary elixir that martial artists would literally kill their own grandma for. Back in his past life as the Fist King, he only ever saw a few drops of this stuff, yet here it is, a whole bottle. He is genuinely baffled how a simple merchant group got their hands on a treasure that even the top Jianghu experts can't find. He doesn't keep all the goodies for himself, though. He tosses some precious meds to the twin guards and tells them to hold down the fort. He is about to go into a deep cultivation session, and he needs 0 distractions while he cooks his internal energy. He sees the stash the merchant leader prepared and finally admits that having a massive bank account is the ultimate superpower. Money really is amazing when it buys you a shortcut to god-tier strength. 2 hours later, the room is glowing blue as Jineon starts the energy circulation. He describes the azurite essence as tasting like bitter trash, proving that the more it hurts, the better it probably is for your cultivation. Things start heating up, and he admits that if he were still in his old, weak body, he would have literally melted into a puddle by now. It is a painful, flavorless process, but he is determined to beat this energy into submission. The burning pain is consuming him, and trying to suppress it only makes the energy go more wild. He decides to stop playing nice and starts beating the essence down with his own willpower, creating a massive explosion of internal force. After a massive struggle, he finally settles the energy, and it is a total success. He has officially reached the 5th phase of the white lightning art, and he is feeling himself as the blue flames dance around him. But then he notices the smell, and boy, it is rancid. His body is expelling all the old alcohol waste from his pores, which is basically his body saying goodbye to the previously Jineon's trashy lifestyle. He knows he is taking a massive risk, comparing his current body to a fragile clay cup made of wet sand being shoved into a furnace. If he can't endure the heat, his whole vessel is going to shatter into a million pieces. The spirit energy of the azurite essence is putting him through the ultimate test, surrounding him in a dark, red void.
He wonders if he should have been less greedy, but his face says he is ready to take every bit of power he can get.
He is grinning through the struggle because he knows that if he overcomes this, his growth will be absolutely insane. He is pushing past his limits, refusing to let the elixir break him, even as the energy threatens to tear him apart. Fast forward 7 days later, and the house is dead silent. The chief administrator and Waiyan are pacing outside like worried parents because there hasn't been a single peep from Jinion's room for a whole week. The guards are keeping everyone back, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a sword.
Suddenly, a massive blast rocks the building, and everyone is wondering if the young master just accidentally blew himself up.
Out of the smoke and rubble, a figure emerges with glowing purple eyes that look straight up demonic.
Waiyan is terrified, wondering if this is actually her brother, or some monster that just took over his body.
The room is a total wreck, and the stench is so foul that everyone has to cover their noses.
Waiyan is panicking, thinking her brother has suffered a total energy deviation and turned into a mindless psycho.
As Jinion stumbles out looking like he just crawled out of a swamp, the guards are begging him to snap out of it.
He is huffing and puffing, looking absolutely terrifying, leaving us all wondering if he actually survived the process, or if he just became the world's smelliest villain.
Imagine being so overpowered that your own body starts acting like a malfunctioning nuclear reactor.
Our boy Jinion is currently vibrating with enough heat to cook a 5-course meal, and his subordinates are standing there looking like they just realized they forgot to turn off the stove at home.
He gives them the ultimate "stay back if you value your life" glare, warning them that if they follow him, they are basically volunteering to be vaporized.
He needs to find a place to cool off before he accidentally turns the neighborhood into a giant charcoal pit. He launches himself away like a literal human rocket, leaving his confused fan club behind. The former Fist King is realizing that even though he has the soul of a legend, his current physical vessel is still a bit of a beta version that cannot handle the premium DLC power roaring inside him. It is a classic case of a high-level engine being stuffed into a budget car frame. His insides are roaring and boiling, and he knows that if he does not find an outlet for this pressure, he is going to pull a full Oppenheimer on the entire Yunha Merchant Group estate.
The fear is real because he is not just worried about the estate, he is worried about leveling the entire city street.
Talk about a property value nightmare. He is pushing himself to the absolute limit, desperate to find a spot where he can blow up in peace without a high body count. He finally spots a remote enough location where the only things he can hurt are some rocks and maybe a few very confused squirrels. The volatile pressure is hitting the red zone, and he finally stops holding back the monster living under his skin.
You know things are getting serious when the MC starts screaming and glowing like a neon sign.
He cannot hold it in for a single second longer, and the air around him starts to crackle with the kind of energy that makes your hair stand on end. This is the moment where he either embraces the chaos or gets erased by it. He lets out a roar that probably shattered windows 3 towns over, deciding that if his body cannot contain the energy, he is just going to let the world deal with it. Boom! Massive pillars of white lightning erupt directly from the ground like a reverse Zeus attack.
Some local martial artists are watching from a distance, probably wondering why the Earth decided to start shooting lasers at the sky today.
It is peak Manhwa logic, and we love to see it. After the dust settles and the rain starts to fall, we see the results of that explosive therapy session. Our master has officially hit the 8th phase of the White Lightning 10-phase art, which is basically the equivalent of getting a massive level up while your clothes get deleted by physics. He is looking absolutely shredded but also completely disheveled. If he walks back into town looking like this, he is going to go from respected master to local public menace in record time. He needs a wardrobe change, and he needs it 5 minutes ago. Walking through the streets half-naked in the rain is definitely one way to get the ladies' attention, but the whispers are getting a bit too loud for comfort. People are literally asking who the half-naked hottie is while he tries to maintain some shred of dignity. He ducks into a local clothing shop, probably scaring the owner with his "just survived a lightning strike" aesthetic. He picks out a new set of robes that actually make him look like a functional member of society again, but when he reaches for his wallet, things get wholesome. The shopkeeper pulls the ultimate "no, your money is no good here" move. It turns out that since Jineon spent his free time beating the local thugs into a pulp, the streets have actually become safe for children to play. The owner is so grateful he even throws in a high-quality umbrella for free. RMC is actually a bit touched by the gesture, realizing that maybe this whole protecting the weak gig has some decent perks. He accepts the gift and starts his quiet walk back, probably feeling like a true neighborhood hero for the first time in 2 lifetimes. He is actually starting to appreciate the peaceful vibe he helped create.
It is a rare soft moment for a guy who usually spends his time breaking bones, but of course, the peace lasts for exactly 5 seconds before the comedy relief shows up.
Just as he is getting into his feelings, he spots Chol Myung-go doing what he does best, running for his life from an angry mob.
Some things never change, and honestly, seeing this guy getting chased through the rain is the perfect way to ground the story back into chaos.
While our boy is enjoying the rain, the scene shifts to the Emperor's Assembly, where the actual old monsters of the martial arts world are having a meeting.
This is where all the high-level gossip happens, and today's topic is particularly juicy for everyone except one person. Patriarch Dako Myong drops the bombshell news that a master from the prestigious Ouyang clan got absolutely clapped in a duel by some random merchant group member. The room fills with the kind of laughter you only hear from people who have too much power and not enough hobbies. The high-ranking martial artists are having a field day, mocking the Ouyang clan for losing to a commoner. They are treated like the joke of the century, and the disrespect is being served on a silver platter while the clan leaders sit on their golden thrones. Even the legendary Blade Emperor, Namgung Wu, joins in on the roasting. He compares the Ouyang clan's failure to a jester's performance, which is basically the martial arts version of saying your entire family legacy is a meme. The salt levels in the room are reaching critical mass. Patriarch Ouyang Sang is sitting there trying to play it cool, dismissing the dead master as an exile who was already kicked out. It is the classic "he was not with us" excuse that villains use when their minions fail, but nobody in that room is actually buying it. Behind that calm mask, Ouyang Sang is absolutely seething with humiliation. He is being laughed at by his peers, and he knows that his clan's reputation is currently in the gutter because of one merchant brat. You can practically see the revenge plot loading in his eyes. He vows to show the world the true, overwhelming strength of a great clan, which we all know is code for "I am going to send a wave of even stronger minions to get beaten up by the MC." Our boy Jineon has no idea he just triggered a major boss fight, but knowing him, he will probably just find it annoying.
Imagine trying to enjoy a nice walk in the rain only to see your local loser getting chased by a pack of rabid thugs.
Chol Myung-go is currently doing his best impression of a track star, but he looks more like a wet rat than a poisonous fox. These aggressive punks are identified as the Crimson Reaper Alliance, the latest group of bottom feeders trying to play king of the hill in the downtown district.
They think they own the place, but they have no idea who they just interrupted.
Myung-go explains that these thieving bastards actually swiped his auction business ledgers, turning his life into a constant game of tag where the losers get buried. Honestly, watching him struggle to keep his hair together is the most entertaining part of this rainy day. Despite the blades being pointed at them, our young master Jineon is peak unimpressed. He looks at the thugs and basically tells them to take a hike because Myung-go is currently too busted to provide a decent fight. Talk about being savage to your own friend. The thugs are initially offended that a pretty boy is talking down to them, but then the atmosphere shifts.
Suddenly, it feels like a mountain is crushing them, because the pressure radiating from Jineon is straight-up nightmare fuel.
One little minion tries to act tough, but the energy in the air is telling them to shut up and pray. Jineon is not in the mood for games, and he is making sure every single one of these thugs feels the weight of their impending doom.
After a quick and violent reminder of why you do not mess with the main character, Jineon drops the ultimate threat.
He mentions that he is currently starving and very irritable, meaning if a fight starts, he is going to end every single one of their subscriptions to life. Sensing that they are about 5 seconds away from becoming fertilizer, the Crimson Reaper punks decide that retreating is the best health insurance policy. They scurry off into the rain while Jineon and a very hungry Myungo go looking for some carbs. They end up at Jinpyeong Noodles, where Myungo is already making excuses like a professional simp. He claims that the only reason he almost died earlier was because he was hungry, not because he is weak. Sure, buddy, and I am the king of the Central Plains. Watching Myungo inhale noodles is a spiritual experience. Jineon notes that his former friend has completely ditched his picky eater persona and replaced it with a stomach that could probably swallow a whole sect. As the bowls pile up, the conversation shifts to the twins, Jinbo and Myungbo.
Jineon confirms they are currently undergoing a training arc that would make most martial artists cry, all to ensure they become the ultimate shields for the merchant group.
Myungo suddenly gets a spark of ambition and asks if he can learn proper martial arts.
He is tired of running from the Crimson Reaper Alliance and their endless swarm of subordinates who move like a bunch of angry bees.
Jineon agrees to teach him, but there is a massive catch. He demands that Myungo drop the ego and bow to him as a student. For someone who calls himself the poisonous fox, this is basically the ultimate embarrassment. Myungo tries to argue, even threatening to do something disgusting in front of the Yunha merchant group gates, but Jineon just stares him down. Eventually, the desire for revenge outweighs his pride, and he gives in to the young master demand. The lesson starts immediately, and it is not what anyone expected. Jineon hands him a regular umbrella and gives him a simple instruction: swing it exactly 100,000 times. No fancy moves, just pure, unadulterated repetition. Myungo looks like his soul just left his body. He asks if Jineon is serious about the number, but the young master is dead serious. He explains that there are no secret shortcuts to killing. True strength is built through the discipline that Myungo lacks. The roast continues as Jineon tells him that if he keeps living so pitifully and scurrying around like a drenched rat, he might as well just give up on life entirely. It is the kind of tough love that leaves emotional scars, but it works. Challenged by the harsh words and the terrifying aura of his new master, Myungo takes the umbrella and commits to the grind. He is determined to finally live up to his nickname and stop being the Alliance punchline.
Jineon leaves the shop after paying for the meal, his mind already moving toward his next goal.
He made a promise to find the Crimson Reaper Alliance, and we all know he is not the type of guy to break a promise, especially when violence is involved. Meanwhile, in a much darker room, we get a glimpse of the big bad. A mysterious and powerful figure is currently questioning his subordinates about why Myungo was allowed to escape. The Crimson Reaper leader looks absolutely demonic and ready to break some bones.
This guy is clearly not used to failure, and his presence alone is enough to make his minions tremble in fear.
He wants that ledger back, and he wants anyone involved in the interference dealt with as painfully as possible. The stage is set for a massive collision between the young master of the Yunha group and the Underworld Alliance. Jineon is coming for them, and he is bringing all that oppressive pressure with him to settle the score once and for all.
Back at the training spot, Myungo is still swinging that umbrella, his hands probably screaming for mercy.
He knows that if he fails this, he is going back to being a rat, and that is a fate worse than death in his eyes.
The rain continues to pour as the internal fire in Myungo starts to burn. He is visualizing every thug he ever ran from with every swing, slowly transforming from a victim into a weapon under Jineon's brutal guidance. Jineon walks away into the misty streets, looking like the ultimate boss. He knows that the storm is coming, but he is the one who brought the thunder. The Crimson Reaper Alliance has no idea that their days of ruling the downtown district are officially numbered. A promise must be kept, and the young master is a man of his word.
As he disappears into the shadows, the focus shifts back to the Crimson Reaper headquarters, where the air is thick with blood and tension.
The leader of the Alliance prepares for war, unaware that his opponent is a reincarnated monster who eats thugs for breakfast. The hunt is on, and the poisonous fox is finally learning how to bite back. Imagine being a top-tier underworld boss only to find out your elite squad got clapped by a random merchant's son. Our main man Jineon is out here ruining reputations, and the Crimson Reaper is absolutely seething because one little fox got away. This oversized gym rat with the red hair can't handle the fact that Jineon is already being called the strongest in the region. He basically orders a double funeral for the kid and the fox, proving that his ego is even more fragile than his henchman's ribs.
Meet the Crimson Reaper, a guy who thinks weapons are for losers and prefers to literally rip people apart with his bare hands.
He's already deleted several major sects, acting like a total psycho who never learned how to play nice with others. This guy is basically the IRS but with more violence, extorting every shop and pleasure house in the area. He even managed to squeeze tribute out of Chol Myungo, making him the ultimate neighborhood bully that nobody asked for. Just yesterday, this beast decided to take over the entire auction house by force because why not?
Jineon realizes that if this red flag on legs keeps escalating, his family's business is toast, so he decides to handle the trash himself.
Our protagonist isn't waiting for an invitation to the villain's lair. He heads straight to the Passion House, looking like a total boss while the local nightlife district tries to figure out why a storm is brewing in a silk robe.
As soon as he steps inside, a girl's scream echoes from the top floor, letting everyone know the Reaper is currently busy being a monster.
It is the classic villain doing villain things trope, and Jineon is clearly not here for the atmosphere. The staff is terrified because the Reaper's room is basically a crime scene waiting to happen. Meanwhile, the house manager, Jonghwa, tries to act all professional while her guests are literally fleeing for their lives in the background. Jonghwa tries to play the "Do you have an appointment" card, which is hilarious considering Jineon looks like he's about to renovate the building with his fists. He just wants to know if the red-haired psycho is upstairs or not. Jineon has zero time for small talk or hospitality. He ignores all the warnings about the leader's terrifying temper, probably because he knows the Reaper is about to have a very bad day. He coldly demands the location of the boss. Before the carnage starts, Jineon actually tells the manager to evacuate the innocent people.
He might be a cold-blooded fighter, but is not a complete savage, unlike the guy he's about to turn into a floor mat.
As he starts his walk of doom up the stairs, you can practically feel the hype. He's walking into the lion's den with the confidence of a man who knows the lion is actually just a very loud house cat.
The guards think they can stop him, but Jineon doesn't even bother opening his mouth.
He lets his fists do the talking, and let's just say the conversation is very one-sided and involves a lot of broken floorboards. One guard tries to get brave and ends up regretting his entire life choice in approximately 3 seconds. Jineon is clearing the path like he's playing a video game on easy mode, and the fodder guards are just XP points at this point.
Surrounded by a bunch of angry thugs, Jineon just asks which floor the Reaper is on.
When they don't answer, he decides that killing everyone on the way up is a much more efficient way to find his target anyway. The thugs charge in like they actually have a chance, but Jineon starts borrowing their own weapons to speed things up. He's literally using their gear to dismantle them, which is the ultimate "stop hitting yourself" flex. Armed with a borrowed axe and some glowing blue lightning, he turns the staircase into a literal mosh pit of pain.
These guys are getting wrecked so fast they probably don't even realize they're airborne until they hit the wall.
He even grabs a spiked mace because why limit yourself to just one type of destruction? He's smashing through rooms and clearing floors like a one-man demolition crew, and he hasn't even broken a sweat yet.
After clearing out the lower levels, he realizes he's in the wrong room and just keeps moving.
The sheer disrespect of treating a legendary gang space like a poorly organized scavenger hunt is why we love this guy. Every time a door opens, someone gets sent flying. Jineon is systematically checking every floor, leaving a trail of unconscious tough guys behind him. He's determined to find the man at the very top of this trash pile. Finally reaching the 5th floor, the atmosphere gets heavy. The Reaper is sitting there like a final boss, mockingly asking if the kid came to pay off someone else's debt.
He really thinks he's the main character here, bless his heart.
Jineon is completely unimpressed by the Reaper's height or his scary bedroom. He basically tells the guy that stomping on trash like him is his specialty, which is a burn so sick it probably hurt more than the actual punches. The Reaper tries to flex his strength by showing off the body of the girl he just killed, claiming he just couldn't control his power. This guy is a total sociopath, and Jineon's patience has officially hit 0%. Seeing the monster's total lack of remorse, Jineon decides that this guy is beyond rehabilitation. He switches into executioner mode, and you can tell the Reaper is about to find out exactly what real strength looks like. The Reaper keeps bragging about how he's ripped apart everyone who ever tried to kill him, but he's never faced someone who treats him like a minor inconvenience. The ego on this man is about to get a reality check.
As the tension peaks, we see panicked citizens running for their lives outside the building.
They know that whatever is happening on that 5th floor is about to bring the whole house down, literally. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Chol Myung-go is still out there swinging his umbrella like a madman. He's focused on his 100,000 swing goal, completely unaware that his boss is currently rearranging a villain's face. Myung-go is counting his reps when a massive explosion of sound rocks the entire district. It's the signal that the real fight has finally started, and Ji Neon is about to show the Reaper why you never mess with a merchant's son.
People are screaming about some crazy guy tearing the pleasure house apart, and honestly, they aren't wrong.
Ji Neon is doing God's work by cleaning up the neighborhood, one broken villain at a time. Back at the training ground, Myung-go is still at it, but even he has to stop when the shockwave hits. The night was supposed to be peaceful, but Ji Neon decided that justice needed to be served with a side of total destruction. Myung-go hits rep number 2870-something, but his eyes are fixed on the fire and smoke in the distance. He knows his master is putting in work, and the hype for the next round is officially off the charts. A massive boom and the realization that the Crimson Reaper might have just met his actual Reaper. If you want to see if the red-haired psycho survives the stomping of a lifetime, you better stay tuned for the next one. While our boy Chol Myung-go is out here grinding and counting swings like his life depends on it, a massive shockwave rocks the local pleasure house. This is not a drill, the main event just hit its peak and the neighborhood is definitely feeling the heat. The Crimson Reaper is currently having a midlife crisis because he cannot believe a random merchant's son is matching his monstrous strength. Imagine being a legendary villain and getting checked by a kid who should be counting coins instead of throwing hands. Our villain is reeling, realizing that this is not just some lucky fluke.
He is getting pushed back by someone he thought was a total weakling. And the look on his face is pure, unadulterated salt.
Desperate to stop the bleeding, the Reaper decides to get fancy with it. He is planning to use rebound force to absolutely crush Ji Neon with the next strike.
He really thinks a little physics trick is going to save his reputation.
Ji Neon is out here playing chess while this thug plays checkers. He is calmly analyzing every move, spotting the meteor hammer and meteor fist techniques like he is reading a beginner's manual. It is officially time for a reality check. He admits the Reaper has some clean moves and clearly had a decent teacher, but that is where the compliments end. Being good is one thing, but standing against a literal legend is just a fast track to the afterlife. The Reaper is still trying to wrap his head around how a merchant group's young master has strength on par with his. He is doubling down on the rebound force plan because his ego literally cannot handle anything else. Ji Neon watches the desperate struggle with the most bored expression you have ever seen. He has seen these meteor strikes 1,000 times, and honestly, he is just not impressed by the villain's best effort. Then comes the chilling reveal that changes the entire vibe of the room. Ji Neon declares himself the Fist King, and suddenly, the power scaling in this fight just broke through the ceiling. Superior skill meets desperate pride, and it is a total slaughter. The Reaper is getting completely overwhelmed, finding out the hard way that calling yourself a king and actually being one are two very different things. Even with the villain going full power and tapping into every bit of his strength, he is still just a bug under Ji Neon's gaze. The sheer pressure is enough to make any normal person give up on life right then and there. Ji Neon finally lets his anger show, telling this trash that if he had treated people with even a tiny bit of humanity, things might have ended differently. But since he chose to be a monster, he is getting the monster treatment. Pinned down and looking up at his doom, the Reaper finally understands the depth of the hole he dug for himself. There is no escape and no mercy coming from the man standing over him like a god of judgment. It is time for the grand finale.
Ji Neon begins cycling through the phases of his martial arts, jumping straight into the second phase with a terrifying blue aura that screams game over.
He is not stopping there, folks. He pushes through the third, fourth, and fifth phases in seconds.
The raw power radiating off him has the spectators wondering if they should just start running for their lives now.
Behold the white lightning 10-phase art. He unleashes the lightning roar, and the entire night sky turns into a strobe light of divine energy. This is not just a punch, it is a literal act of God. The dust settles and the scene is described as a long overdue cleansing of the corrupt underworld. The big bad is nothing but a charred memory now, and the silence in the air is deafening. Standing over the wreckage, Jineon turns his cold, blue eyes toward the remaining thugs.
He wants to know who gave these losers the right to squeeze blood from the weak.
Hint, nobody did. He issues a challenge to anyone else who wants to flex their muscles. If they want to be famous for 5 seconds, they can step up and get turned into a broken mess just like their boss. Unsurprisingly, nobody is volunteering. Word travels fast when a tyrant gets deleted.
The crowd realizes the Crimson Reaper is actually dead, and the era of fear and extortion just went up in smoke.
It is a good day to be a local merchant. Some people are naturally worried that the new guy might be just as bad, but the smarter ones point out that a wealthy heir has no interest in their lunch money. He is here for justice, not their copper coins. While the town celebrates, Chol Myungo is still out there swinging his umbrella like a madman. He is not running away like a rat anymore, he is nurturing the flame in his heart to become something truly dangerous. He is pushing past his exhaustion, driven by the desire to become strong to the point of madness. The memory of running away like a drenched rat is the only fuel he needs to keep going. He knows his place now, and he is living accordingly by building himself into a weapon. Watch out, world, because the poisonous fox is finally coming for his throne, and he is not taking any prisoners. Most people come home from work with a coffee, but our main man Jineon rolls up to the Yunha estate looking like he just finished a shift in a literal meat grinder.
His sister Woyeon is naturally freaking out, because her brother is drenched in blood, but Jineon is out here acting like it is just some annoying rain.
He casually drops the fact that none of this red juice is actually his, which is basically his way of saying the local trash has been successfully disposed of. While cleaning the evidence of his latest massacre, he starts geeking out over how well those rare elixirs are working. Apparently, the Taeho merchant group sent over some azurite essence that is so cracked, even Jineon is impressed.
This stuff is basically magical steroids that have turned his body into a living weapon, and now he is stuck wondering how to pay back a gift that is worth more than most kingdoms.
Gold and jewels are for peasants, and Jineon knows that trying to pay back a priceless elixir with a bag of coins is a major insult. He decides to go big or go home, proposing a massive merchants alliance that would flip the entire power structure of the region. Woyeon looks like her brain just short-circuited because her brother went from fighting thugs to planning a corporate takeover of the entire merchant world in 5 seconds. This is not just some exclusive club for the rich simps. Jineon wants to include everyone from the massive Taeho group down to the tiny West Wind escort establishment. These smaller groups are basically sitting ducks for every martial arts psycho in the Jianghu because they have zero defense. Jineon's plan is simple: we provide the muscle, you provide the trade, and we all get rich without getting murdered. He is keeping the rules so simple that even a child could follow them, and he is not even asking for membership fees. Why? Because he is not looking for a quick buck, he is building a legacy. Woyeon points out that he has already done a great job cleaning up the streets after he absolutely dismantled the little deity sect and made the Ouyang clan look like a bunch of clowns. The goal is total protection for the merchants, and Jineon is even setting up a high-speed communication system so they can report trouble before their heads get chopped off. He is taking this seriously because he knows that if a big group like Taeho gets targeted, it means the heavy hitters from the underworld are involved. He is basically building a giant shield for the economy while acting like it is just a side hobby.
If any of those edgy martial arts sects decide to test their luck against his new association, Jineon promises to personally show up and remind them why they should have stayed in their caves.
He is not just talking big either. He knows that the legendary medicine has given him enough raw power to make the strongest warriors in the Jianghu look like toddlers. He is feeling himself, and honestly, with that much aura, who can blame him? They decide to call their new squad the Great Merchants Association. Woyeon suggests the word alliance, but Jineon shuts that down immediately because it gives him bad flashbacks to the enemies from his past life. He is a man of specific tastes and zero patience for bad branding. Woyeon agrees to handle the paperwork, even though she knows her workload is about to go from 0 to 100 real quick. poor Waiyan is already buried under a mountain of scrolls, and she jokingly roasts her brother for making her life a living hell with all these grand plans. Jinian actually feels a bit bad for the first time in his life, but Waiyan is a true merchant at heart and says she would rather be busy and rich than bored and broke.
Their sibling bonding time is actually kind of wholesome until the door gets kicked in by a panicked administrator. The chief administrator is sweating bullets and screaming that they are all doomed because the Ouyang clan has finally decided to show up in force.
This is not just some low-level thugs this time, the big boss himself has arrived at the front gates. Jinian just sighs like someone interrupted his favorite show, while everyone else is busy preparing their final wills and testaments.
We cut to the main hall where Patriarch Ouyang Seng is sitting there seething with rage and probably a lot of salt.
He is still crying about the humiliation he felt at the ruler's meeting, and he has decided that killing a merchant's son is the only way to get his pride back.
He is basically the CEO of Bad Losers, and he has brought his entire family along to witness the execution. The Patriarch orders his 3 sons to each fight Jinian one by one. He does not just want to win, he wants to drag this out and make sure Jinian suffers for every second he is alive. It is a classic villain move, and his sons are all acting like this is going to be an easy warm-up. They are so confident that they are even arguing about whether or not they should bother using weapons against a mere merchant. Meet the 3 stooges, Shin Sobik the son-in-law, Ouyang Mayon the second son, and Ouyang Woon the third. While the older 2 are busy being arrogant pricks, Woon is the only one with at least 2 brain cells to rub together.
He reminds his brothers that Jinian actually managed to kill a seasoned warrior, so maybe they should stop acting like they are fighting a kitten.
The older brothers just laugh him off, calling the previous one a fluke because they are too blinded by their own ego to see the red flags waving in their faces. They demand that Jinian come out and face them immediately, but a massive servant informs them that the young master is currently busy eating and they can wait in the annex until he is done. The level of disrespect from Jinian is absolutely legendary. The Ouyang group is led to the annex by guards who are so huge they make the martial artists look like hobbits.
When they finally see Jinian, he is just standing there looking bored out of his mind.
He welcomes them with the same energy you would give a door-to-door salesman you are about to reject.
The brothers start introducing themselves with way too much drama, while Jinian is probably just thinking about what he had for lunch.
Patriarch Ouyang tries to act all polite and refined, claiming he just wants his sons to learn from this duel. It is the fakest apology in history, and Jinian sees right through it. He tells them they can pick whatever format they want because, at the end of the day, the result is going to be the same. He is essentially giving them the choice of how they want to be embarrassed. The rules are simple: leave the ring, fall unconscious, or become a human vegetable, and you lose.
Jinian agrees with a smile that says, I am about to ruin these men's entire careers.
As the first challenger steps up, the leaves start falling and the tension is rising, but Jinian is still standing there with his hands behind his back like he is waiting for a bus. The Patriarch is sitting on the sidelines, literally fantasizing about seeing Jinian beg for his life. But as the fight is about to start, he notices something disturbing. Jinian does not have the shaky aura of a merchant, he feels like a monster that has been forged in the deepest pits of the Jianghu. The realization starts to sink in that they might have just walked into a trap. The first son-in-law, Shin Sobik, starts taunting Jinian for not drawing his sword, acting like he is the main character of an anime. Jinian just tells him he will do whatever he wants, and before the clown can even finish his sentence, Jinian disappears from his sight. The next thing the guy knows, his nose is being rearranged by a fist that feels like it was delivered by a freight train. The impact is so violent that the guy gets sent flying across the arena like a discarded ragdoll. He hits the wall with enough force to crack the stone, and the entire Ouyang clan goes dead silent. The Patriarch's teacup literally shatters in his hand as he watches his son-in-law get deleted in a single move. This was not a fight, it was an execution of a man's dignity. Jinian does not even look winded as he stands over the unconscious body. He looks at the next brother in line and gives them some friendly advice: you guys should probably draw your weapons if you want to survive more than 1 second.
He is out here handing out free lessons in humility, and the Ouyang clan is starting to realize that the merchant's son they came to bully is actually the apex predator of the Jianghu. You really thought you could walk into this arena and keep your dignity?
Local martial arts geniuses are currently discovering that our boy Jineon doesn't play fair. He just folded the first challenger with a single strike and has the nerve to tell the next guy that he should have actually drawn his sword if he wanted to survive the next 10 seconds.
Enter young Master Shin, the Ouyang clan's golden boy, who thinks a little bit of respect will save him from a beatdown.
He acknowledges Jineon's skill and promises a match where neither side holds back.
It is cute how he thinks his techniques actually matter against a protagonist with this much main character energy. The duel starts and Shin is already rethinking his entire life.
He is throwing everything he has at Jineon, but our hero is just vibing. He is literally reading the flow of the sword movements like it is a children's picture book. The horror on Shin's face is the best part of this whole chapter. Imagine training for decades with a legendary blade only for some merchant heir to parry your lethal steel with his bare hands. The absolute disrespect is off the charts. Jineon is out here making professional warriors look like toddlers playing with plastic toys. Jineon is officially done playing nice. He taps into the energy of his white lightning art and maintains total control over the battlefield. Shin is sweating bullets while Jineon looks like he is barely trying to remember if he left the stove on at home. The third young master gets pushed back so easily it is actually a crime. At this rate, the Ouyang group is going to need a group therapy session.
They realize that if all three of their reps get clapped consecutively, their clan's reputation is going to be worth less than a bag of stale rice.
The desperation is reaching peak levels. The Ouyang simps are realizing that a massive uproar is coming if they don't do something fast. Their prestigious name is being dragged through the dirt by a guy whose family literally just sells stuff for a living.
It is time for the big guns, or at least what they think are big guns.
The eldest young master of the Ouyang family decides to step into the ring.
He is a specialist in palm strikes and thinks he has found the magic formula to stop the merchant heir's winning streak.
Jineon accepts the spar with a smirk that says, "I am about to ruin this man's whole career." He actually gives the guy a compliment, saying he looks decently skilled compared to the trash that came before him.
That is cold-blooded, even for him. The eldest son unleashes his secret move, the whirling wheel crushing palm.
It sounds like a move from a budget cultivation novel, and honestly, Jineon isn't impressed.
He is just standing there watching the wind-up like he is bored out of his mind.
As the massive palms fly, Jineon is already writing a Yelp review of the guy's technique. He finds the movements way too large and inefficient for a serious fight. It is like watching someone try to swat a fly with a giant wrecking ball. After dodging the strikes like he is playing a game of tag, Jineon decides to wrap things up. He tells the eldest son that while his movements weren't terrible, they were far too predictable to actually hit anything that isn't a stationary target. The duel ends with the Ouyang clan looking like a bunch of clowns. Patriarch Ouyang Sang is watching from the sidelines in seething silence. You can practically see the steam coming out of his ears as he watches a mere merchant humiliate his elite fighters. Realizing that the pride of the Rulers Association is currently being used as a doormat, the Patriarch decides to switch tactics. He drops the aggressive act and invites Jineon for a peaceful walk through town. This is the oldest trick in the book, and we all know it is a trap. Ouyang Sang tries to play the mentor role, offering Jineon a spot in the Rulers Association. He promises that the group will protect the Yunha merchant group if Jineon just agrees to join as an individual. It is basically a protection racket with better branding. Jineon isn't a simp for prestige. He knows exactly who these guys are, a bunch of rejects who left the Murim alliance because they couldn't handle the big sex having all the power. He sees right through the old man's desperate attempt to save face. The Patriarch finally admits that Jineon's strength is ruining his reputation. He just wants it to look like the merchant group is under his wing so people stop laughing at him. When Jineon asks what is in it for him and tries to leave, the old man's mask finally slips. The peaceful walk just turned into a death threat. Ouyang Sang asks if Jineon wants to see his entire family slaughtered.
This old psycho really thinks he can bully a merchant into submission.
He threatens to brand him a public enemy of the entire martial world. Jineon doesn't even blink. He tells the patriarch that he could just kill him right here and shift the blame onto the eldest son. The absolute audacity to threaten a patriarch while standing in his own town. Our boy is a certified savage. The patriarch loses it and lunges with his poison-toed palm strike. This is his ultimate move, but Jinion's white lightning art has reached the 8th phase. The lightning literally burns through the toxins like they are nothing. It is a total wipeout. Defeated, humiliated, and broken, the patriarch tries to use the association's name as a shield one last time. Jinion just looks him in the eye and promises to make him regret his arrogance for the rest of his miserable life. The Ouyang clan is officially cooked. Imagine being a high and mighty patriarch and getting dragged through the dirt like a sack of potatoes by a merchant kid.
Our MC Jinion has officially run out of patience, holding Ouyang Sang by the neck while the man's sons cry like total simps.
It is the ultimate fall from grace, and honestly, we love to see it. The sons are begging for mercy, but Jinion basically tells them to shut up before he gives them the same treatment. He is not here for the family drama, he is here for justice. He orders a carriage immediately because this circus is moving to a bigger stage. The plan to frame the Yunhe merchant group? Yeah, that just blew up in the old man's face.
Jinion explains that this clown really thought he could threaten to annihilate his family and get away with it.
To expose the absolute rot in this system, he decides to head straight to the Rulers Association. He is done playing nice and is ready to file a report that will ruin this man's entire career. Since the association does not have a fancy office and just hangs out at the homes of the top clans, Jinion points his finger at the Moyang clan estate. He leaves his sister Waiyan with a mission to alert the Murim alliance. If you are going to snitch, you might as well go to the highest authorities possible. The journey begins with the most awkward carriage ride in history. Ouyang Sang is tied up and looking pathetic, actually having the audacity to beg for water. Jinion just stares at him with the coldest indifference you have ever seen. Thirsty?
Maybe you should have thought about that before trying to ruin a whole merchant group, Grandpa.
The silence is broken when some uninvited guests decide to crash the trip.
A group of hired killers known as the Gold-Silver Assassins shows up thinking they are the main characters.
Jinion does not even break a sweat, grabbing one of the survivors to start a little chat. The interrogation is short, sweet, and involves a lot of lightning energy. The assassin is shaking like a leaf as Jinion asks who is paying the bills. It turns out the Ouyang patriarch was the one who signed the checks. Jinion is not surprised, just disappointed in the lack of quality help these days. When Jinion hears the price tag was only 800 niang per head, he actually laughs. Imagine risking your life for the price of a mid-tier sword. He roasts the assassin for being so cheap and mocks the leader for having zero loyalty. It is a total reality check for the hired help. Jinion breaks it down for the guy, explaining that the orthodox faction is basically a dumpster fire of hypocrisy. These assassins were never going to get paid, they were meant to be silenced by the very man who hired them. The old man wanted to keep his hands clean while others did the dirty work. RMC basically tells the killer that his life is worth less than a snack and he should have trained harder if he wanted a better payout. It is savage, it is cold, and it perfectly highlights how filthy the inside of these noble clans really is. They finally reach the Moyang estate, and the vibe is instantly tense.
The carriage rolls up and the onlookers are absolutely losing their minds.
Seeing a merchant heir dragging a prestigious patriarch like a common criminal is the kind of scandal that keeps the Murim gossip mills running for years. The shock on the guards' faces is worth more than those 800 niang.
Enter Patriarch Moyang Bin, looking confused and probably wondering why his afternoon tea was interrupted by a hostage situation.
He cannot wrap his head around how a kid from a merchant family managed to beat down a top-tier clan leader. The power scaling in this town just hit a major glitch. Jinion does not waste time and drops the evidence like a bomb. He presents the captured assassins and lays out the Ouyang clan's treachery for everyone to see. Moyang Ben is forced to acknowledge that this is a massive crime, and the gravity of the situation starts sinking in for everyone. Ouyang Sang is now bleeding and desperate, trying to play the victim card. He claims that the other patriarchs mocked him so much that he was driven to these extremes. He is literally begging for protection, looking like the ultimate red flag. He wants his peers to save him from the consequences of his own actions.
Moyongbin realizes this is a PR nightmare and decides to distance the association from this disgrace.
He orders the assassins to be tossed in the dungeon and tries to play the gracious host by offering Jinyan a meal. He knows if this spreads, the whole association is cooked. Jinyan plays it smart, proposing to deliver the disgraced patriarch to the Murim alliance. This lets the association keep a tiny bit of honor while ensuring the old man gets what is coming to him. It is a chess move that leaves the other clans with no choice but to agree. During the meal, the conversation takes a sharp turn into mystery territory. Jinyan asks about the previous patriarch, Moyang-chu, and gets a shocking answer. It turns out the man disappeared exactly 1 year ago. The timing is a little too perfect for a coincidence. This revelation confirms Jinyan's theory about his own reincarnation timeline. Everything is connected, and the long-dormant demonic faction is starting to cast a very long shadow.
Our MC is realizing that the enemies he fought in his past life are much closer than he thought.
He reflects on the insane strength of the monsters from his past life, people who could survive even the 9th phase lightning. He knows that the current peace is just a lie. Something big is moving in the darkness, and it involves strange sorcery and power beyond the heavens. As the dots connect, we see a glimpse of the real threat. The heavenly demon has finally stepped out and is starting a hunt for the legendary Sword King.
The stakes just went from merchant group drama to a full-blown war for the fate of the Murim.
Get ready, because the real hunt is just beginning. You know you have hit the big leagues when the top masters of the world are the only thing people want to gossip about over tea. RMC is just chilling, trying to figure out why the demonic faction is playing hide and seek, while the world is basically on fire. Patriarch Moyongbin starts spilling the tea on the Blade Emperor, and honestly, the man is a total savage. Apparently, when he heard about the Ouyang clan's massive failure, he did not just offer condolences, he laughed his head off at their incompetence.
The atmosphere was so tense that everyone else was making awkward faces while the Blade Emperor treated the whole tragedy like a stand-up comedy special.
This guy ignores anyone he does not like, which is basically the ultimate power move in this world. As for the other legends, the Sword God has basically ghosted society to go into closed-door training for the last 6 months. Meanwhile, the Sword Emperor is just wandering around like a homeless legend with no fixed address, making him impossible to track down. Then we have the Sword King, who is half-retired and busy playing teacher to a bunch of disciples. But the real spicy talk starts when they mention the Fist King, a man with a temperament so fierce that even the previous patriarch wanted no smoke with him. Jinyan is just sitting there with a straight face, listening to the patriarch describe his own past life as if he is some kind of uncontrollable disaster. The patriarch warns him that the Fist King was not exactly the type of guy you grab a beer with easily. The legends say the Fist King used to slap around arrogant Orthodox juniors just for breathing wrong and slaughtered members of the demonic faction like he was clearing out pests. He did not care about your status. If you were a red flag, you were catching hands. Even the young heirs of prestigious clans have had their cheeks clapped by him more than once.
But despite the violent reputation, the patriarch admits the Fist King was actually an upright and principled man who lived a lonely life dedicated to the grind.
Hearing someone call his past self lonely almost makes Jinyan crack a smile, but he plays it off by complimenting the food.
It is hilarious watching him listen to his own legend, while everyone thinks he is just a talented young master from a merchant group.
To fix the legal mess the Ouyang clan left behind, the patriarch suggests that Jinyan head to the Murim alliance in person. It is a big move, and the patriarch is basically setting the stage for our MC to walk right into the heart of the martial arts world.
The next day at the Moyang estate, we meet Baek Hankyung, a stoic representative of the Murim alliance who looks like he has forgotten how to smile.
He is going to be Jinyan's travel buddy, and the chemistry is already non-existent, which is perfect for a long trip. Jinyan makes sure to secure the bag before leaving, getting a promise that the Moyang clan will protect the Yunha merchant group while he is gone. He also casually drops a request to hunt down the gold-silver assassins, offering to help dismantle them personally. RMC is such a menace that he admits he came prepared to fight the entire Moyang clan if they tried anything funny. He is relieved the patriarch chose the path of wisdom instead of becoming a stain on the floor, and honestly, the patriarch should be relieved too.
Jinyan is already planning his next move against the assassins, showing that he is not just a martial artist, but a strategic mastermind.
He is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and the Murim alliance has no idea what is coming their way. The patriarch watches him leave, realizing that this young master is far more interesting and dangerous than he looks. Jinyan and his new stoic shadow take off, leaving a trail of leaves and shattered expectations behind them as they head for the alliance. 4 days into the journey, and the silence is deafening. These two are so taciturn that they have probably said about 10 words to each other the entire time.
Beck thinks Jinyan is just as quiet as he is, which is a vibe, but also incredibly awkward for a road trip.
The silence finally breaks when Beck spots a wicked rogue on the most wanted list just casually walking down the street. He tells the young master to stay back because this guy is a public enemy, but we all know who the real danger in this group is. It turns out the rogue is just bait for a trap set by some bitter warriors who lost their arms to the alliance leader. They are looking for revenge, but they accidentally pulled a boss fight into their ambush by targeting the group Jinyan is in.
These armless wonders are talking big, but Jinyan pulls a pro gamer move and teleports behind them before they can even blink.
He tells them his hobby is beating down cowards who hide in the shadows, and you just know it is about to get messy for these clowns.
While Jinyan is busy being a legend, back at headquarters, Chul Myungo is absolutely losing his mind.
He finds out his teacher ditched him for the Murim alliance, and the betrayal is hitting him harder than a physical blow to the gut.
Myungo is so heated he threatens to do something absolutely disgusting in front of the main gate if he does not get his way. He has finished his insane training of 100,000 umbrella swings and is now ready to storm the alliance just to catch up. This guy is officially the most dedicated and unhinged disciple in history. He identifies himself as a poisonous fox and decides that if his teacher is going to the alliance, he is going to crash the party too, regardless of the consequences. The ambushers are still trying to process how Jinyan moved so fast, but the gap in power is just unfair.
RMC is basically smirking because he finally gets to stretch his legs and remind some losers why you never set a trap for a man who used to be a king.
Beck is just standing there, probably questioning his entire life as he watches this merchant kid move like a god. The Murim alliance is about to have a very interesting week once this duo finally arrives at their front door. The stage is set for a massive collision between the old legends, the new generation, and an MC who is tired of everyone's nonsense.
If you thought the Ouyang incident was crazy, the Murim alliance arc is about to be absolute peak fiction.
Chul Myungo is already on the move, fueled by spite and 100,000 swings of experience. He is not just a disciple anymore, he is a guided missile aimed straight at the alliance, and he is bringing all that umbrella energy with him. The chaos is spreading, the secrets are leaking, and Jinyan is right in the middle of it all, looking like the calmest person in the room. Stay tuned, because when the Fist King's legacy meets the Murim alliance, there won't be enough bandages in the world to fix the damage. 101,203 swings later, and Myungo is officially a monster. He is coming for his teacher, and God help anyone who stands between a disciple and his next lesson. The journey continues, the traps are failing, and the hype is real. Jinyan is about to turn the Murim world upside down, and we are just here to watch the glorious downfall of anyone stupid enough to challenge him. Imagine being a high-ranking criminal only to get hunted down by a guy who treats beating you up like a side quest. RMC catches this so-called lustful swordsman, and honestly, the only thing lustful here is this guy's desire to catch a massive beating from a pro. Jinyan isn't even trying to be polite, mocking the villain's reputation while basically calling him a warm-up exercise. The criminal tries to act tough, but we all know he's just another NPC waiting for his HP bar to hit 0 in the most embarrassing way possible. Baek Hankyung steps in to drop the legal hammer, confirming this creep is a public enemy of the Murim alliance.
That means the MC has a literal license to kill, and Jinyan's smile says he's about to enjoy his work way too much for a normal person. After 3 days of traveling together, this is the first time Beck has seen the MC smile, and it is absolutely terrifying.
Jineon is looking at this wanted man like a kid looks at a new toy he's about to break, and the villain is finally realizing he's in deep trouble. The criminal decides to go for a desperate sneak attack, throwing weapons like he actually stands a chance against a main character.
It's the classic villain mistake, thinking that numbers or gadgets can compensate for the fact that they're basically fodder in a fancy outfit.
Jineon dodges the attack with the kind of grace that makes you want to uninstall life, moving like the air itself. He doesn't just avoid the strikes, he catches the momentum and prepares to send that energy right back where it came from with interest. Talk about a return-to-sender policy that actually hurts. Jineon returns the weapons with such terrifying precision that the villain's goons are getting ventilated before they can even process that they're losing. The precision is disgusting, and the MC is just getting started. Now the villain starts yapping about his specialized training, claiming he's trained a body part that Jineon wouldn't even be able to use. Sir, this is a martial arts manhwa, not a late-night comedy sketch, but Jineon remains completely unimpressed by the weird flex.
The criminal tries to use his secret strength to maim our boy, screaming about effort like he's the hero of his own story.
Spoiler alert, he's not. Jineon looks at this green-glowing secret technique and basically treats it like a minor inconvenience. Even with his ultimate effort, the villain finds himself completely overwhelmed in a matter of seconds. Jineon is moving at a level that shouldn't even be legal, proving once again that if you're not the MC, your secret training is basically just a waste of gym fees. Realizing he's about to become a permanent part of the pavement, the villain pulls the most pathetic move in the book, surrender. He suddenly wants to go to the Murim Alliance and even offers to snitch on his buddies just to save his own skin. Talk about a red flag. The villain is literally begging now, trying to sell information like he's a black market dealer.
He thinks his life has value because of what he knows, but he clearly hasn't been paying attention to the kind of person Jineon actually is. Jineon drops the coldest line of the day, reminding the trash that he isn't actually a member of the Murim Alliance.
Since he's not a cop, he has zero obligation to accept a surrender or keep a snitch alive, and he's more than happy to finish the job.
One swift execution later, and the world is officially down one creep. Baek Hankyoung watches the whole thing and honestly just goes along with it, agreeing that the guy deserved to die. With the trash cleared out, the two decide it's finally time to find some decent food. As they head out, the atmosphere shifts from murderous to starving real quick. It's funny how these guys can end a life and then immediately start debating where to get the best noodles, but that's just the daily grind for a high-tier martial artist. Over dinner, Baek finally admits he had his doubts about the rumors of a merchant heir defeating the Ouyang clan patriarch. Seeing Jineon's skills firsthand has cleared up all those doubts, and he's now officially a fanboy of the MC's sheer violence. Baek is so impressed that he tries to recruit Jineon into the Murim Alliance, promising that they value skill over family background. It's a classic recruitment pitch, but Jineon listens with the same I don't care energy he brings to everything else in life. Baek starts roasting the Rulers Association, calling them mercenaries who have zero loyalty and scatter like autumn leaves when things get real. It's some top-tier shade, but he's about to find out that talking trash in a crowded inn is a great way to start a fight. Right on cue, an elder from the Rulers Association takes offense to the autumn leaves comment. He's looking all sophisticated with his fan, but you can tell he's just waiting for an excuse to show off his ego. The tension in the room just spiked to maximum levels. The elder reveals that his name is literally Autumn Leaves, making Baek's previous insult incredibly awkward. It's like calling someone trash and then realizing their name is actually Mr. Trash. The MC just sits there eating while the adults have a passive-aggressive standoff. The elder asks if they're heading to the Dragon Phoenix tournament, which is basically the Olympics for people who like to hit each other. It's the most prestigious event in the Murim world, but our MC initially treats it like a complete waste of his precious time. Jineon gives a deep speech about how true fame should come naturally through strength instead of some organized contest.
It sounds very noble and cool, until you realize he's just being a lazy genius who doesn't want to deal with the paperwork of a tournament.
The elder mentions that the winner gets a top-grade elixir, and Jineon's personality flips faster than a pancake. Suddenly, he's the tournament's biggest fan. His greed is the only thing stronger than his martial arts, and honestly, we love a relatable, money-hungry king. As they approach the Murim Alliance gates, the elder decides to be a petty child and kicks up a massive dust storm just to annoy them. It's the martial arts equivalent of splashing someone with a puddle while driving, and Ji Neon is definitely not going to let that slide. Insulted by the petty display, Beck and Ji Neon decide to turn the trip into a high-speed mobility race. They want to prove that the Murim Alliance doesn't just have better morals, but also better engines. The hype is real as they start blurring across the landscape. The elder is pushing himself to the absolute limit, trying to uphold the honor of his association, but he's basically racing against two Ferraris while he's on a bicycle. He's sweating bullets while Ji Neon looks like he's barely breaking a sweat. They're flying through the terrain, leaving the elder's true mobility arts in the dust.
It's a total ego crush for the old man, who really thought he was the fastest thing on two legs.
The age of the boomers is over, the era of the monster MC has arrived. The race reaches its climax right at the gates of the Alliance, with everyone watching the spectacle. The elder is huffing and puffing, trying to claim he won, but everyone with eyes can see he got absolutely smoked by the two younger guys. Even with his head start and petty tricks, the elder is forced to face the reality that he's second best. Beck is laughing his head off, and the MC is just standing there looking bored, which is the ultimate way to disrespect an opponent. The Murim Alliance leader himself is watching from the balcony, and he doesn't miss a single detail. He identifies Ji Neon as the undisputed victor of the race, marking our MC as the man to watch in the upcoming tournament. The hype train has officially left the station. Finally, we get to see the big daddy of the Murim Alliance, Yu Zhonghong, and he already knows our boy Ji Neon is the merchant heir who turned the Ouyang patriarch into a total joke. This legendary old man is actually interested in seeing Ji Neon flex his muscles at the upcoming Dragon Phoenix tournament, throwing out some fake luck wishes like he is not planning something devious. Meanwhile, poor Beck Hankyung is having a mental breakdown because he was told he was the slowest one during the journey, realizing why Yunwal was just trolling him by conserving stamina. It turns out Yunwal was just testing his opponents like a true tactical genius, while Hankyung was out here running for his life like a total simp for speed.
Ji Neon is out here being the most unbothered king in history, basically saying that hiding your true power level is just Murim 101 and people need to stop crying about it.
We transition to the main hall where the Alliance leader kicks everyone out just to have some quality one-on-one time with Ji Neon to see if the kid is actually built different. As he walks toward that seat of power, Ji Neon reflects on the leader being a savage commander who personally dragged the strongest warriors into the brutal battle of the Five Tombs.
This guy is a living legend who commanded every orthodox sect, making him the ultimate boss that you definitely do not want to catch a glare from.
Zhonghong looks at Ji Neon and basically tells him he is way too stern for a kid, claiming he prefers juniors who act their age so he can actually feel comfortable. Then comes the million-dollar question as the leader asks if Ji Neon is the successor to the legendary Fist King, wanting to know exactly how many secret techniques he managed to learn. This old fox used his massive brain to deduce the connection because our boy uses lightning energy, and after ruling out every other clan, only the Sect of Enlightenment was left.
Ji Neon officially confirms he is the Fist King's legacy, making the leader realize that fate has brought them together in the most dramatic way possible.
The leader starts yapping about how lightning users always have this domineering aura, wanting to become a lone bolt that tears the heavens apart like a total edgelord. When asked how his master is doing, Ji Neon drops the bombshell that all contact has been cut off forever, which is the most cryptic way to say the old man is probably ghosting the world.
This news has the Alliance leader shaking in his boots because he fears the vanishing of martial masters means the demonic faction is about to start some fresh drama.
He spills a dark secret about the last war where the realm's strongest masters felt absolute despair while fighting against just one nameless grandmaster from the demonic side. It was a total nightmare where the three gods and one saint had to jump one guy, which is honestly the biggest red flag for the future of the Murim. The leader tells Ji Neon to grow overwhelmingly and even selfishly strong for the sake of the future, while promising that the disgraced Ouyang Seng is going to rot in a dungeon.
Ji Neon asks the real question, wondering if that demonic monster actually died, and the answer is a total horror story about burning him and scattering his ashes across 5 different mountains. Walking away, our boy realizes the Alliance leader is just a monster forged by the times, concluding that the entire Jianghu is just in Azura's realm of mutual slaughter.
He sees that the opposite of the demonic faction is not justice, but just another form of a monster, and he might not be any different when things get real. Hank Young tries to be a good little subordinate by leading Jinian to a luxurious lodging outside the Alliance, having requested a sunny room for his precious rest. To their absolute shock, they find Shou Myungo already lounging in the room like he owns the place, having tracked Jinian down by checking every single inn in the area. This absolute madman proudly declares he has finished his 10,000 swings and is ready for the next step, proving that stalker energy is the strongest martial art of all. Myungo is out here complaining about how he barely slept while Jinian was living it up in the Alliance, but he still found the exact room like a poisonous fox on a mission. He is a man who keeps his word, and now that he is here, the real chaos is finally about to begin. He crossed mountains and rode ships just to ask what is next, showing that his dedication to the grind is actually borderline psychotic.
With the poisonous fox finally back in the mix, the Dragon Phoenix tournament is about to become a literal bloodbath.
Our boy Myungo finally finished his 100,000 swings and he is looking like he actually achieved enlightenment, or maybe he just needs a nap. He is acting all high and mighty because he is a man of his word, but we all know he is just glad the torture is over for now. The poisonous fox has officially arrived at the Murim Alliance and he is already demanding his next lesson like a spoiled brat. He is lucky his teacher has the patience of a saint because I would have kicked him back down the mountain 5 minutes ago. Baek Hankyung leads the squad to a secluded training spot that is basically the Murim version of a private VIP gym. It is peaceful, spacious, and perfect for some high-level cultivation without any thirsty extras trying to steal their secrets. After the old man leaves, things get serious. Jinian drops the news that he is starting a new skill called the Phantom Blossom Divine Art. Apparently, his inner energy is finally deep enough that he can stop being a one-trick pony with his lightning.
Myungo is confused because he thought shooting lightning was enough to win life.
But Jinian has to explain that the white lightning art is all about offense, and if you cannot defend, you are just a glass cannon waiting to be shattered by a real master. The teacher starts explaining that a true warrior needs to know how to counter and redirect momentum. It is basically the ultimate know-you card in a fight. Myungo looks like his brain is buffering, which is honestly his default state at this point. Even the best fighters need to exploit their opponent's flaws.
Jinian is talking about high-level physics while Myungo is probably just thinking about what is for dinner.
The gap between their talent levels is literally a canyon. The Phantom Blossom art specializes in these exact principles. It is all about using the enemy's own strength against them. It is slick, it is deadly, and it is way too sophisticated for our local simp to grasp on the first try. Then comes the reveal of the ultimate secret, the Phantom Reach. It is literally telekinesis, letting you move stuff without touching it. Jinian is out here playing Star Wars while everyone else is playing with sticks. You can bend the path of a weapon or just seize it outright. For a close combat fighter, this is basically a cheat code. Imagine trying to stab someone and your sword just decides to go for a walk in the other direction.
Myungo has the audacity to call this legendary skill a thief's trick. Bro, you were just swinging a wooden stick for a month, maybe do not roast the guy who can move rocks with his mind.
The disrespect is real.
Jinian is not having it and tells him to stop trying to understand with his dull excuse for a brain. He drops a massive truth bomb. Out of those 100,000 swings, only one single strike was actually worth anything.
Talk about a brutal performance review. Myungo is complaining about his thick arms and how he feels nothing, but the teacher is just getting started. If he wants to master the basics, he needs to find the perfect trajectory among 200,000 slashes and 300,000 thrusts. Jinian explains that a legendary sword art is just a sequence of these perfect movements refined through endless repetition. It is not magic, it is just being a total psycho about your training until your body moves perfectly on its own. He warns his disciple that even perfect form is garbage if you do not have battle instincts. You can be a master in the backyard, but if you freeze up in a real fight, you are just a very graceful corpse. Myungo is convinced that all martial artists are just insane bastards, and honestly, he is not wrong. But Jineon points out that there are people in the Jianghu way crazier than him. Strength is not about your sect, it is about how seriously you live your life. Every sect researches and polishes these sequences for generations. It is a long, boring process of making sure your sword goes exactly where it needs to go every single time. Precision is the difference between a master and a dead man. While they are talking, the alliance leader is hiding in the bushes like a creep, listening to the whole lecture.
Jineon starts talking about the Dako's 9 sword strikes, which everyone thinks is the peak of swordsmanship.
But then he mentions a legend that surpassed even that, the story of Jin Sohun. This guy was an orphan from a performer troupe who spent 10 years just doing a harmless sword dance to protect the people who raised him. Because he spent a decade training solely to avoid hurting anyone, his foundation was insane. When he finally had to pick up a real sword meant for killing, his enlightenment erupted all at once and he basically broke the world's power scaling. The point of the story is that those 10 years of useless dancing were what made him a god. It was not the art itself, but how earnestly he lived through it. Jineon challenges Myeongo to decide if he wants to be a scurrying rat or a real fox. Motivated by the lore and the trash talk, Myeongo goes full shonen protagonist. He declares that this time, he will not swing 100,000 times, but 1,000,000. He is finally locked in, and even the teacher looks a little surprised by the resolve. The alliance leader is watching all this and getting hit right in the feels. He reflects on how all his old friends and subordinates are gone, but seeing these two train makes him feel like there is still hope for the future.
He decides that since he enjoyed the show so much, he should prepare a special gift for Jineon.
Meanwhile, Jineon is casually showing off his telekinesis, moving rocks around like they weigh nothing while Myeongo prepares for his million-swing marathon. We get a flashback to Jin Sohun's life among the ladies of the performer troupe.
It is a beautiful but sad story of a boy who just wanted to keep his family safe, never realizing he was becoming the strongest man alive in the process.
The transition from the sword of dance to the sword of killing is peak cinema.
The blood on his hands and the red in his eyes show that once he crossed that line, there was no going back.
He truly became an orphan of the world. He surpassed every established sect because his heart was different. Jineon uses this to hammer home the lesson that prestige means nothing if you do not have the soul of a warrior. Myeongo is actually listening for once, which is a miracle. The lesson ends with a simple question: how do you want to live? The poisonous fox is finally starting to understand that there are no shortcuts to greatness. You either put in the work or you stay a background character forever. Myeongo's newfound resolve is actually kind of scary. He is ready to break his body for that million-swing goal. Jineon just smirks, knowing he successfully manipulated his disciple into working 10 times harder. Typical teacher move. The alliance leader is impressed by the tri-sword technique and the young master's potential. He misses the old days when he could just relax and train, but he knows the world is changing. He is definitely cooking up something big for RMC. As the sun sets on the training grounds, the shadows of the past loom over the old leader. He has seen too many friends disappear, but in Jineon, he sees a light that might actually survive the coming storm. The chapter wraps up with Jineon casually flexing his telekinetic powers, making rocks float around the waterfall like it is a Tuesday afternoon. Myeongo is back to swinging his weapon, and the grind for 1,000,000 strikes officially begins. The power level is rising, the secrets are being revealed, and our boys are finally getting serious.
If you think 1,000,000 swings is crazy, just wait until you see what the alliance leader has in his gift bag.
This is just the beginning of the hype. Imagine being a low-tier martial artist and suddenly the final boss of the orthodox world just pops up behind you in the rain. Our boy Chul Myeongo is currently having a mini heart attack because the Murim alliance leader himself is standing right there. The old man is surprisingly chill, noticing Myeongo's diligence, but then he spots the scar on his cheek. He asks if it is from some epic duel or intense training, giving Myeongo the perfect chance to lie and look cool. But nope.
Myeongo has the social awareness of a brick and blabs out the truth.
He admits he got stabbed in a dirty gambling den because some guy refused to pay his debts. Talk about a total mood killer. Myeongo immediately wants to find a hole and crawl into it. He is calling himself an idiot internally because who tells the most legendary figure in the Jianghu that they were a low-life debt collector? Instead of judging him, the alliance leader shows off his own arm scar. He starts a flashback about his father who used to run a brewery and deliver liquor to taverns. Turns out, even legends come from humble beginnings. The flashback gets dark as we see the leader's father getting absolutely bodied by a bunch of drunks. Back then, the leader was just a kid who couldn't even swing a sword, so he grabbed the only thing he could find, a big stick. He went full primal mode, swinging that stick wildly until every single drunk was on the floor. He didn't kill anyone, but he definitely cleared the room. It is the classic "don't mess with my family" trope, and it's glorious.
In the adrenaline rush, he didn't even realize his arm was sliced open and bleeding everywhere.
His father, looking completely traumatized, threw the boy on his back and sprinted through the snow to find help.
As he hung onto his father's back, he felt the heat of his father's sweat and the sting of his own blood.
That moment burned into his memory, making that scar a permanent badge of honor rather than a mark of shame. The old man drops some heavy wisdom, explaining that everyone in the Jianghu has their own messy story and burdens to carry. He then looks at Myungo's pathetic, tattered umbrella and decides it's time for an upgrade. Myungo tries to play it off saying he just borrowed the umbrella from Jineon, but the leader isn't having it. He reaches out and hands Myungo a new weapon that looks way too expensive for a guy like him. This isn't just a rainy day accessory, it's a black iron umbrella from the famous Moyang clan. It's made of pure black iron, heavy as a mountain, and durable enough to survive 1,000,000 swings without a scratch.
Myungo is holding this legendary gear like it is a holy relic, wondering if a guy with his shameful past even deserves it.
The leader just smiles, telling him that the past is the past.
The real test of a man isn't where he started, but if he can correct his wrongs and live properly today. If you can do that, you are already a good man in his books. This is the ultimate redemption arc pep talk. With a final encouraging pat on the shoulder, the leader takes his leave. He tells Myungo he expects to see some big things from him at the upcoming Dragon Phoenix tournament. No pressure, right?
As the legend walks away, Myungo is left standing there, probably holding back tears.
Jineon, being the ultimate mood ruiner, just wants to go get lunch, but Myungo is too hyped to eat. Myungo decides to skip the meal and stay behind to train. He is literally vibrating with excitement because the alliance leader gave him a personal gift.
He is either laughing like a maniac or crying. Even Jineon can't tell.
Fast forward a few days, and the city is absolutely buzzing. It's the Eve festival for the Dragon Phoenix tournament, which is basically a giant Get Out of Your Week screening process for all the participants. The festival is wild. Arrogant warriors are everywhere, challenging each other to duels to weed out the frauds before the main event tomorrow. If you can't handle the heat tonight, you don't belong on the stage. Of course, a bunch of arrogant extras spot Myungo and his new umbrella. They start talking mad trash, asking why a clown would bring a household item to a martial arts festival. They really have no idea who they're mocking. Myungo has a short fuse and he finally snaps.
He starts screaming about how this umbrella was a gift from the alliance leader himself, but the crowd just laughs, thinking he's some delusional lunatic.
Myungo introduces himself as a man who has swung his weapon 100,000 times. One challenger steps up, mocking his basic child-level training and insulting his master for teaching him street thug moves.
The challenger is a total simp for the tournament's reputation, and thinks Myungo is a disgrace.
Myungo doesn't care about the tournament, but he's never going to turn down a fight when his master's name is on the line. The duel is officially on. The crowd gathers round to watch the umbrella guy get destroyed. Jineon is watching from a balcony, looking completely bored as Myungo readies his heavy iron weapon. The opponent is actually fast, lashing out with a spear-like strike.
Myungo realizes the iron umbrella is way heavier and shorter than his old one, making his timing feel completely off.
He's struggling to adjust to his new power. The spear slams into the ground right where Myungo was standing. He's sweating buckets because this new weapon is a totally different beast.
The crowd starts jeering, thinking our boy is about to get folded.
The challenger starts laughing, calling Myungo an idiot who can't even handle his own gear.
Myungo looks frustrated, realizes he can't win like this, and decides to do the unthinkable.
In a move that leaves everyone's jaws on the floor, Myungo turns around and starts booking it. He's literally running away from the fight. Is he a coward, or is he just baiting this arrogant spearman into a trap? Chil Myungo is currently having a mid-fight crisis because his black iron umbrella is shorter than his usual weapon.
Talk about a massive skill issue and a reach disadvantage right out of the gate.
Instead of standing his ground like a man, Myungo starts sprinting across the stage like he left the stove on at home. The crowd is losing it because they paid for a duel, not a track meet. To the confusion of literally everyone, he just keeps running. It looks like our boy is a total coward, and the audience is already preparing to ask for their money back from this circus. The spear-wielding attacker starts mocking him for scampering around like a rat. He eventually knocks Myungo to the dirt and demands he get up to face a proper beating like a good little punching bag. Myungo is struggling hard because his weapon reach is absolute garbage. He is missing horizontal slashes by miles while the spectators jeer at his seemingly pathetic performance. The humiliation is hitting different today.
Myungo feels the weight of his master's silent observation and realizes he looks like the ultimate disappointment in front of the entire martial world.
Spear Guy is feeling like a main character, roasting Myungo for being sloppy and pathetic. Honestly, seeing a guy with an umbrella get bullied this hard is almost painful to watch. The jeering intensifies as Myungo continues to fail at landing a single clean hit.
It is looking like a total wash, and the crowd is ready to write him off as a one-chapter wonder.
Just as the opponent prepares to end the match, Myungo starts reflecting on his past life as a total fool. He decides that dying like a loser is not on his bucket list for today. He is taking hits left and right, and the humiliation is reaching its peak. But there is a spark in his eyes that says he is finally ready to live as a man of substance and strength. Myungo is bleeding and battered, but he is actually baiting the attacker into closing the distance. He is basically playing 4D chess while the other guy is playing checkers. He literally thanks the man for coming closer, which is the ultimate red flag in any duel. Before the spear guy can even blink, Myungo prepares to unleash a hidden strike from the umbrella. Boom! A single, massive blow from the umbrella carries enough force to incapacitate the opponent instantly. The audience is in absolute shock that a common umbrella could pack that much heat. Standing victorious in a crater of his own making, Myungo finally identifies himself as the poisonous fox.
He is a warrior who makes sure to repay every single debt he owes, whether it is blood or kindness.
Of course, some jealous mid-tier competitors try to gang up on the exhausted Myungo.
Typical filler thugs thinking they can get a cheap win on a tired goat.
That is when Jineon steps forward and releases a physical pressure so intense it literally halts the thugs in their tracks.
They are paralyzed by pure, unadulterated fear.
Jineon mocks their cowardice, and the thugs realize they are dealing with someone in an entirely different league.
It is the classic "you messed with the wrong master" moment we all live for. The tension is broken by the arrival of Hua Yunwal, the prestigious and suspiciously handsome young master of the Hua clan. He tells the rabid dogs to back off and save it for the tournament. Yunwal clearly knows game when he sees it, approaching Jineon with actual respect. He invites our MC to his quarters for a drink and a special gift later that night. Back at the lodging, Yunwal's sister Seol is being a total hater, questioning why he bothered stopping a duel between minor martial artists. She has clearly missed the memo on who is the real monster here. Yunwal reveals his sharp intuition, explaining that Jineon is the top contender for the championship. He was even slowing down during the earlier race just to match their pathetic pace. The real kicker? Jineon won all his battles using only raw physical strength without even tapping into his inner energy reserves. He is a literal cheat code in human form. Seeing his potential, Yunwal starts teasing Seol about marrying Jineon to form a powerful alliance. Seol gets flustered and goes full tsundere, denying any interest while her face turns redder than a tomato. As Seol continues to throw a tantrum about him not being her type, a knock at the door reveals that Jineon has arrived. The pre-festival is over, and it is time to see what the Hua clan really wants. Jineon walks in with that signature "I do not care" energy, leaving Seol completely speechless. The alliance building is starting, and the power scaling is about to go through the roof. Yunwal is smiling because he knows he just brought a tactical nuke into his room. The merchant group alliance is the goal, and Jineon is the golden ticket to the top. Seol is still trying to act tough, but you can tell she is impressed. RMC just has that effect on people, especially when he is busy being the strongest man in the room without even trying. The young master is ready to reveal his gift, and the hype for the Dragon Phoenix tournament is officially at an all-time high. These great clans have no idea what is about to hit them. Jineon is just here for the drinks and the business, but he is clearly the one in control of the conversation. It is a masterclass in aura, and even the Hua clan is feeling the pressure. As the night deepens, the stage is set for a massive showdown. Our Umbrella Warrior and his Monster Master are about to turn this entire tournament into their personal playground. Seol is still blushing in the corner while the men talk business. It is a classic romance trope setup, but we all know Jineon is only married to the grind and absolute victory. Yunwal finalizes his pitch, and it is clear that the Hua clan is betting everything on this mysterious merchant.
If you thought the pre-festival was wild, the main event is going to be a bloodbath.
The reveal of Jineon's experience and intentional pace matching is the ultimate flex. He is not just strong, he is a seasoned veteran who is playing with his food. Seol's realization that she couldn't even sense his lack of inner energy proves just how far above him he is. This is not just a martial artist, this is a force of nature. The marriage talk might have been a joke, but the alliance is dead serious. Jineon is the key to everything, and the Hua clan knows they need him if they want to survive the coming storm. Seol is still denying everything, but her reaction says it all. The poisonous fox and the monster master have officially arrived to claim their throne, and nobody is safe. Jineon stands ready to see what is next, his presence alone commanding the entire room. The gift is waiting, the tournament is calling, and the hype train has officially left the station. Imagine being so overpowered that you walk into a den of geniuses and treat them like background characters. Our boy Jineon arrives at Yunwal's place, probably expecting a serious meeting, but instead, he gets introduced to the little sister, Yunseol. She looks like a fragile doll that would break if you breathed on her too hard, but don't let the cute face fool you.
This girl is choosing violence today, and she's not happy about her brother's choice in company.
Yunwal drops a truth bomb, claiming this tomboy is actually a top-tier candidate to win the entire Dragon Phoenix tournament.
Local cute girl is secretly a martial arts monster? Classic trope, but we'll allow it. Then comes the awkward part where the social anxiety kicks in. Yunseol hands over a treasured fist guard from the Hua clan as a gesture of goodwill. Basically, she's paying him to be her friend, and honestly, same. Jineon takes the hand protector with the most stone-cold face you've ever seen. It's not a weapon, just high-quality gear, but he's already planning how many faces he's going to punch with it. He's so chill it's almost disrespectful.
He tells them he'll put it to good use, probably while thinking about how many geniuses he's about to humble in the upcoming bracket.
The conversation shifts to the tournament favorites, and Yunwal is absolutely floored.
He realizes Jineon has zero clues about the competition.
Imagine entering the world's biggest fight without even checking the leaderboard. Pure legend energy. Yunseol has to break it down for our uninformed MC. It's a massive ego clash between the Murim Alliance and the Rulers Association. It's basically two groups of old men using kids to settle their petty beef. The alliance is pinning their hopes on Jin Jiol from Mount Hua and Lin Jiryong from Wudong. You know the type, righteous, probably boring, and definitely destined to be a stepping stone for our boy. On the other side, we've got Da Gohan and Namgung Wai from the Rulers Association. These two aren't just fighting for glory, they're fighting because they're both massive simps for the same girl. The girl in question? Baek Yun, the top beauty of the South.
These two love rivals are literally grinding their teeth, waiting to humiliate each other in the finals just to get a smile from her.
Imagine being that thirsty. But wait, Jineon hears her name and has a total uncle moment. Turns out she's the daughter of a senior he respected in his past life. Talk about a small, reincarnated world. Seeing the little girl he once knew grown up into a southern beauty gives him some weird feelings. He's basically a grandpa trapped in a young man's body watching his niece's dating drama. Then we have Yunwal, the self-proclaimed dark horse who's too lazy to move. He finds everything in life bothersome, which is honestly the most relatable thing in this entire manhwa. The unpredictables? A random from the Hainan sect and, of course, RMC.
Jinian just sits there looking like he's bored out of his mind, while they try to hype up his mystery factor.
Then he drops the bomb. He looks them dead in the eye and says none of those famous names are even worth his consideration for the title. The absolute audacity of this man. Yunwal can't even be mad, he just laughs his head off. He's trying to scan Jinian's martial arts level, but it's like trying to measure the ocean with a ruler. He's completely unreadable and terrifying.
Jinian is out here choosing violence with his words, and Yunwal realizes he can't even tell if the guy is interested in his sister, or just really wants to punch people.
Spoiler, it's definitely the punching. After the MC dips, Yunwal pulls a pro-gamer move, he's yielding his own spot in the tournament. Why participate when you can have a front-row seat to the massacre Jinian is about to cause? Yunseal is super salty because the Snow Phoenix didn't even get a flirtatious glance. Sorry sis, our boy is on a grind set, and your beauty stats have zero effect on his mental armor. Jinian leaves the premises, probably going to find a quiet place to test his new fist guard. He's got a tournament to win and a whole lot of geniuses to turn into hospital patients. Back inside, Yunwal drops some heavy wisdom. He tells his sister that not every hero in the Alliance is a good guy, and not every merchant is weak. He's basically telling her to stop judging books by their covers. He's totally given up on winning just because he met someone worthwhile. This man is the ultimate Jinian fanboy already, and the tournament hasn't even started yet.
Yunseal still thinks he's a blunt womanizer, but her brother corrects her.
Jinian isn't pretending to be uninterested, he literally just does not care about her Snow Phoenix status at all. Savage. The siblings' peaceful chat is about to get interrupted though. Enter Dako Han, the future patriarch with a massive ego and a very fragile temper. He looks like he's looking for someone to kill. He overheard the rumors of Jinian's dismissal and he's absolutely fuming. He demands to know who dared to insult the future patriarch of the Dako clan. He's about to catch these hands. The Hua siblings are too scared to even open their mouths. They know the storm is coming, and Dako Han is leading the charge right into Jinian's path.
Dako Han is walking around like he owns the place, screaming for the man who dared to look down on him.
Little does he know, he's just signed up for a one-way ticket to a beatdown.
The chapter ends with the golden boy's eyes glowing with rage.
He wants a name, he wants a fight, and he's about to realize that young Master Li is a name he'll never forget.
Imagine being so insecure that a random rumor about a merchant's son ruins your entire night. Meet Dako Han, the future patriarch of his clan and a certified red flag, who is currently throwing a temper tantrum because someone suggested he is not the strongest guy in the room. He stomps over to Yunwal, demanding to know if some low-tier merchant brat really had the audacity to insult the great clans. Honestly, the ego on this guy is big enough to have its own zip code, and he is looking for someone to punish for his bruised feelings. Yunwal tries to give him a reality check, warning him about the man who absolutely deleted Ouyang Sing from the server, but Han is not having it. He refuses to believe that a mere merchant could ever be a threat to his noble status, proving that pride really does come before a massive fall. Yunwal is out here playing 4D chess as the next chief strategist of the Rulers Association while Han is still playing checkers. She drops a bomb, predicting that this year's champion won't come from any of the usual powerhouse organizations, which is basically a slap to Han's face. This clown is so confident in the old ways that he wagers 10,000 niang on the traditional favorites.
He thinks he is making easy money, but the look on his face says he is about to become the local joke of the tournament.
Yunwal does not just accept the bet, she triples it. She is betting 30,000 niang against the big clans because she knows our boy Jinian is built different.
Han is laughing now, but his wallet is definitely going to be crying later.
As they finalize the deal, the tension is thick enough to cut with a sword.
Han thinks he is the main character, but little does he know, He is just a side boss waiting to be farmed for experience points by a merchant's son.
Fast forward to the Dragon Phoenix tournament registration, where the hype is reaching terminal levels. Genion finds out he can use an alias for the preliminaries, which is perfect for a guy who wants to keep a low profile while breaking everyone's bones.
Looking back at his past life, he thinks about calling himself the Fist King, but then decides that title is still a bit too heavy for his current level.
He is being humble for once, which is a rare sight in a world filled with arrogant young masters. He settles on the name Fist Warrior instead, which sounds basic but is actually a warning for anyone with a functioning brain. He watches the other contestants and notices their inner energy has improved, but he is planning to use pure, refined physical techniques to smoke them. Our protagonist is just chilling, analyzing the competition like a pro gamer. He knows that inner energy is not everything, and he is about to prove that a well-placed fist is worth more than 1,000 years of cultivation if you do not know how to use it. Suddenly, a strict judge from the Murim Alliance starts a scene by disqualifying a total jerk who attacked a defeated opponent. This judge is actually goat for having some actual standards in a world full of snakes and backstabbers. Genion watches the whole drama and actually gains some respect for the orthodox side.
He realizes that even among the annoying righteous sects, there are still men of integrity who will not tolerate trash behavior, which is a nice change of pace.
A spot opens up because of the disqualification, and Genion slides right in like he owns the place. He hands over his registration tag to the judge, who is about to get the shock of his life once he looks at our boy's gear. The judge's eyes nearly pop out of his head when he sees Genion's gauntlets.
He identifies them as rare celestial silkworm thread from the legendary Bakley clan, making Genion realize that Yunwal casually gave him a treasure worth a literal fortune.
With newfound appreciation for his expensive gloves, Genion steps up for his first official bout.
His opponent is talking trash, thinking he has a chance, while the judge is still trying to process the fact that a random warrior is wearing legendary artifacts.
The match is over before it even begins. Genion lands a punch so fast and devastating that the crowd goes silent. He did not even wait for the judge to finish the instructions before sending his opponent to meet his ancestors in record time.
Next up is a guy named Lifestealer who uses a staff and thinks he is the final boss.
He decides to pour every last drop of his inner energy into one desperate strike, hoping to end Genion's win streak before it starts. Genion literally mocks the man for relying too much on a piece of wood. He shatters the staff and the man's dignity with a single blow, proving that no amount of flashy weapons can save you from a guy who is just fundamentally better at everything.
The crowd is losing their minds, and the judge is actually impressed by the sheer efficiency of the Fist Warrior.
Genion is just standing there looking cool, while the next guy in line is probably reconsidering his entire career path. The third opponent is so terrified after witnessing the carnage that he immediately forfeits the match. The judge is annoyed by the cowardice but declares Genion qualified for the main round after throwing only 2 punches, making him the most efficient monster in the tournament. Imagine being so overpowered that the tournament judges are literally sweating over the brackets. Our boy the Fist Warrior is such a massive red flag for the other contenders that the elders are terrified of the power gap he is creating. Word on the street is this mysterious beast advanced to the main bracket after throwing exactly 2 strikes. Just 2. While everyone else is out here struggling for their lives, this guy is treating the prelims like a light warm-up. Enter the big boss, Alliance leader Yu Zhonghong, looking like he just stepped out of a high-tier cultivation manual. He is out here praising the elders for filtering out the low-tier scrubs who lack proper martial character, because nobody has time for trash. Security is tighter than a psycho duke's grip on a female lead. Zhonghong isn't playing around and orders the elite dragon squads to track and protect every single qualifier to make sure no one tries any funny business before the main event.
He drops a cold-blooded decree that would make any villain shake.
Anyone caught touching a qualifier, even if they are from a famous sect, is going straight to the dungeon. He is making a harsh example out of anyone who dares to interfere with his show. The elders are basically trembling because the leader's aura is just that frightening to behold. Meanwhile, the stage is finally set for the Dragon Phoenix tournament main qualifiers, and you can practically feel the hype radiating off the arena. As the crowd goes wild, we see the brackets being revealed and the atmosphere is electric. Everyone is looking for their favorite fighter, but the tension among the actual contenders is thick enough to cut with a spirit sword. Preparations are finally complete, but we have got Chol Myung-go acting like a total brat because he cannot see the stage. Sir, you are a contender, not a VIP spectator, so maybe focus on the fight instead of your lack of a front row view. The other qualifiers are already acting like typical arrogant young masters, making wagers on the championship and bragging about their inevitable wins.
Shushing each other and playing mind games is apparently more important than actual training.
Jong Hong is having a major midlife crisis moment, staring out the window and getting hit by a wave of nostalgia. He starts remembering his old friend Jianwoo, and you just know a tragic backstory flashback is about to drop.
We dive into the blood-soaked memories of the O-Ring campaign.
It is a total nightmare of fire and betrayal where Jong Hong had to watch his comrades fall while screaming for him to lead the battle.
The trauma is real, folks. He is reflecting on the sins of both the orthodox and demonic factions, questioning why so many people had to die. It is the classic philosophical trope: why do the strong involve the weak in their messy wars instead of just settling it themselves?
After getting lost in those dark thoughts, the leader snaps back to reality with a bombshell announcement.
He reveals that this Dragon Phoenix tournament might actually be the last one he ever hosts. Talk about a way to kill the mood. The crowd is absolutely losing it for the hero of the alliance as he makes his grand entrance. He waves to the fans like a total legend while the young martial artists try to act cool despite being totally starstruck by his presence. Jong Hong starts his speech with the ultimate humble brag. 45 years ago, he was just a shaggy-haired kid who had to borrow cash just to enter the contest. Now he is the one running the entire show and looking down at the new generation.
He recounts his glory days, defeating masters from reputable clans and the Golden Blood sect like they were nothing.
He and his runner-up bestie, Jianwoo, started their journey together after the elders gifted them legendary swords.
The joy of receiving those swords made him want to get stronger, and now he is passing that hype along.
He reveals the first prize, a century-old Zhonghua ginseng that is so rare even money cannot buy it. The crowd is basically salivating. Abbas Hyani of the Ame sect really clutched up by providing that elixir for an unknown winner. But the real prize for the top swordsman is the Star Sword, the very blade that belonged to his late friend Jianwoo. The sentimental value is off the charts. If that wasn't enough, the Gu clan ironsmiths forged a brand new masterpiece just for this event. It is Manhwa quality, and the winner gets the honor of naming it themselves. Every simp in the audience is wishing they had signed up now. Drawing his own water lunar sword to show its unchanging edge, Jong Hong tells the youths to keep an upright heart until they ascend to heaven. With a final declaration that the orthodox faction gives without strings, he officially kicks off the tournament. The Dragon Phoenix tournament is finally kicking off, and it starts with the Murim alliance leader acting like he is the main character of a historical drama. He is up there giving a whole speech about the orthodox path being about conviction, while Ji Neon is just in the crowd judging him for being a dramatic fossil. Ji Neon is actually reflecting on those words though, realizing that being orthodox is basically a polite way of saying you are a stubborn martial artist who refuses to give up on your beliefs until the day you die. It is less about pride and more about the literal struggle to stay relevant. The first match of the main bracket is announced, and it is our mysterious fist warrior against the dual spears of Hebei. Ji Neon walks toward the stage with the kind of confidence that says, I am about to ruin this man's whole career. As he steps onto the stage, Ji Neon is mentally preparing himself. This is his first time facing a dual spear master in this life, but since he is low-key the fist king, he is not exactly shaking in his boots. The spearman, on the other hand, is looking at him like he is a lost child. This spear guy sees that Ji Neon has no weapon and immediately assumes he is a low-level scrub. Big mistake. Huge.
He thinks this is going to be an easy win, but he clearly has not been reading the same story we have.
The referee calls for the start, and the spearman lunges in. He is fast, I will give him that, but Ji Neon is just standing there like he is waiting for a bus.
The crowd is holding their breath, thinking our boy is about to get turned into a kebab.
But then Ji Neon starts moving like flowing water, effortlessly dodging every single strike. He is making this master look like he is swinging toothpicks in the dark. The counterattack is coming, and you can practically feel the spearman's confidence evaporating.
The spearman tries to get fancy and strike from a distance, thinking that staying away from those fists will keep him safe.
He unleashes a whole barrage of attacks, but Jineon is just vibing through the chaos like it is a light breeze.
And then comes the absolute disrespect moment. Jineon blocks a direct spear strike with his bare hands.
The audience is collectively losing their minds because who even does that?
He is not just a fist warrior, he is a literal cheat code.
One crushing blow later, and the spearman is folded like a lawn chair.
Elder Song checks the damage and confirms he is just unconscious, which is honestly a mercy. The referee declares an exhilarating victory for the fist warrior, and the crowd goes wild. People are finally connecting the dots and realizing this is the same guy who passed the prelims first. Jineon is officially the tournament's biggest dark horse, and everyone is suddenly a fan now that he is winning. Typical Murim crowd behavior. Hwa Yunwal slides over to offer congratulations, and we have Chul Myungo insisting on being called the poisonous fox now. Our boy Jineon just calls him Umbrella anyway because he is savage like that. Myungo's new title is definitely a red flag for his ego. Yunwal admits he skipped the tournament to watch from the sidelines, but he did something even crazier. He bet 30,000 Niang on Jineon's victory. That is basically the price of 3 buildings. He is either a genius or has a serious gambling problem. Jineon is totally chill about it, promising his friend that the money is safe. They start discussing those celestial silkworm gauntlets, which were apparently a gift from the Bakley clan patriarch in exchange for a master-crafted sword. High-tier loot for a high-tier fighter. The Hwa clan is clearly hiding some insane strength, but the spotlight shifts back to the stage. Enter Dako Han, a man who looks like he eats arrogance for breakfast. He is wielding a massive black heavy sword and looks ready to delete someone. Dako Han ends his match with a single, brutal strike. He is not just strong, he is a total menace.
The crowd is cheering, but you can tell this guy is going to be a major problem for our protagonist later on.
He is the definition of a final boss vibe. After his win, this arrogant noble decides to talk some trash. He mocks Yunwal for wasting a fortune betting on the son of a merchant group instead of a true warrior. The elitism is off the charts with this guy, and he is begging for a reality check. Myungo has finally had enough and calls Dako Han a brainless moron right to his face. The tension is so thick you could cut it with that giant sword.
Dako Han is absolutely enraged, and it looks like a violent confrontation is about to explode right there.
Imagine calling a legendary warrior a brainless moron to his face while everyone is watching. That is exactly how our boy Chul Myungo decides to start his day, and the sheer audacity is honestly life-changing. He does not stop there because he looks at Dako Han's massive sword and asks if he can borrow that oversized umbrella sometime. The level of disrespect is reaching astronomical levels, and Dako is clearly not used to being roasted by a non-participant. Dako Han is absolutely fuming and looks ready to commit a felony right then and there. He prepares to draw his weapon to strike Myungo down for the crime of having a sense of humor, but the tension is suddenly cut by a new challenger. Enter Namgung Wai, the grandson of the actual Sword Emperor. He walks in like he owns the place and immediately starts scolding Dako for wasting his precious energy on someone he considers a trivial opponent. Jineon is watching this whole exchange and notes that this new guy is the real deal. He looks exactly like his legendary grandfather and reeks of high-level skill, making him a major red flag for anyone in this tournament. Namgung Wai decides to flex on everyone by revealing he already finished his match with a single strike. He is out here showing the same kind of overwhelming dominance as the Fist Warrior, and he clearly wants everyone to know it.
The crowd is losing their minds because the last match only ended moments ago.
While everyone else is struggling, these monsters are out here treating a prestigious tournament like a warm-up exercise at the gym. Just when things could not get more dramatic, Lady Beck makes her entrance.
She walks straight up to Jineon with a smile that could end wars, and you can already feel the jealousy radiating off the other guys.
She warmly greets Jineon and even thanks him for the sword he gave her. She mentions she is using it well, which is basically the equivalent of a public shout-out that sends the local simps into a total tailspin.
As the winners of round 1 are called to get ready, Jineon realizes he is being stared down by two of the most dangerous guys in the room.
Both Dakohan and Namgung-wai are glaring at him like he personally stole their lunch money. While Yunwal steps in to drop the tea, explaining that these two young lords are actually rivals in love for Lady Beck. Since she is being nice to Jineon, he has inadvertently become the main villain in their twisted little romance fantasy. Jineon finds the whole situation completely ridiculous. He cannot believe these heirs of prestigious clans are acting like total fools just because they are blinded by lust for a woman who clearly has better taste. Despite the fact that he now has a giant target on his back, Jineon takes a second to praise Myungo.
He actually liked the kid's bold move from earlier, because someone needed to tell those arrogant jerks the truth.
The tournament bracket is finally revealed, and it looks like Destiny has a sense of humor. Jineon, fighting under the name Fist Warrior, is scheduled to face off against Peerless Dako in the very next round. Yunwal warns him that the path ahead is a literal nightmare. If he manages to beat Dako, he will have to jump straight into the semifinals against Namgung-wai. It is a back-to-back gauntlet designed to break anyone. On the other side of the bracket, we have the Golden Sand Sword of the Hainan sect and the Plum Blossom Wanderer from Mount Hua. One of them is going to reach the finals, but all eyes are on Jineon's side of the map. Dakohan steps onto the stage and the vibes are absolutely murderous. He is convinced that Lady Beck only likes Jineon because she has not seen a real master in action yet, and he is determined to change that. To try and intimidate our boy, Dako starts pouring his inner energy into his heavy blade. He is flexing so hard that the actual stone stage beneath his feet starts to crack and shatter into pieces.
Seeing the sheer malice and saltiness coming from his opponent, Jineon realizes his original plan is out the window.
He was going to go easy since it is an orthodox match, but this guy is asking for a beatdown. Dakohan is still talking trash, demanding that the merchant worm should know his place.
It is the classic mistake of a side character thinking they are the main protagonist right before a disaster happens.
Jineon just smiles and decides to give the arrogant noble some very special treatment.
He stops holding back, and the air in the arena shifts as the real monster finally decides to stop playing nice. The stage is literally falling apart as the two prepare to clash.
Dako thinks his power is impressive, but he is about to find out that cracking some rocks is nothing compared to the raw strength of the Fist Warrior.
As the fight begins, the sheer pressure from Jineon makes Dako's murderous aura look like a joke. The audience is silent, realizing that this is not going to be a normal duel, but a total demolition. Dako swings his massive sword with everything he has, but he is swinging at a ghost. Jineon is already moving in for the kill, proving that being a grandson of a legend does not mean anything if you are just a simp.
With a final, crushing move, Jineon prepares to end this match and send a message to everyone watching.
If you want to fight for Lady Beck's attention, you better be prepared to leave the arena in a stretcher. Look at this mess. The arena is literally in pieces because these two decided to play demolition derby instead of fighting like civilized humans. The alliance leader is just sitting there like a disappointed grandpa, telling everyone to keep going, but please, for the love of everything, do not kill the audience.
The crowd is losing their minds. They thought our boy was just some brute with big muscles who only knew how to punch things, but it turns out he is the ultimate hybrid.
He has got that perfect balance of inner and outer energy that makes most of these so-called masters look like they are still in kindergarten. Now everyone is finally connecting the dots. They are realizing how this supposed merchant group heir managed to embarrass the Ouyang patriarch. He moves with so much grace and precision that he is basically dancing on Dakohan's grave before the guy is even dead. Talk about a total disaster for the prestige of the high clans. Dakohan is out here tripping over his own feet and dropping his heavy sword like a complete amateur. It is a disgraceful display for someone who is supposed to be a noble, and the second-hand embarrassment from the crowd is reaching peak levels. The whispers from the sidelines are absolutely brutal. People are calling him out for not even knowing the basic stances of his own clan's signature techniques.
Imagine being such a disappointment that your father's high expectations are basically the only thing keeping you from crying on the floor.
Even with his pride in the gutter, Dakohan tries to pull a fast one to save face. He attempts to unleash the heaven-destroying art, which is supposed to be this lethal, concentrated point of power, Spoiler alert, it is not looking good for our local red flag noble. Jinion is actually out here giving a mid-fight lecture like he is a substitute teacher.
He is basically telling his opponent that a sword is useless if the body and mind are not working together in perfect unity.
He is staying incredibly calm while Dakohan is having a full-blown mental breakdown. Our main lead points out the most obvious flaw in this guy's entire existence.
Sure, the sword is heavy and intimidating, but Dakohan's mind is scattered into 10,000 tiny pieces.
You cannot land a hit when your focus is as messy as your fighting style, and Jinion is letting him know it. The disrespect is legendary. Jinion tells him straight up that the prestigious Dako clan techniques are like an empty cart. They make a lot of noise, but there is absolutely nothing of substance inside. Imagine being roasted that hard in front of the entire martial arts world. As Dakohan starts to spiral into pure desperation, our boy Jinion gets surprisingly philosophical.
He realizes that the pressure of living up to public scrutiny is actually more violent than any real struggle in the Murim.
The kid has an inner demon that is eating him alive from the inside out. It is a classic case of a strong body carrying a weak spirit. Jinion knows that if this continues, the blade will eventually turn against its owner. If you do not learn to control your own power, your power is going to end up being the one that puts you in the ground. Instead of just ending this guy's misery with a single strike, Jinion decides to be a mentor for a second. He gives the arrogant noble a tiny clue on how to actually consolidate his energy.
It is like a pro player helping a noob who is about to delete the game out of pure rage.
Following the subtle guidance, Dakohan finally stops flailing around like a fish out of water. He manages to firmly encase that drifting inner energy and actually performs the heaven-destroying art the way it was intended. It is a miracle, honestly, but he still looks like a kicked puppy. Jinion acknowledges the success but keeps it 100% real. He tells the junior that he should be thanking his lucky stars he is facing an orthodox opponent who is willing to teach. In the real world, someone would have turned him into a kebab 10 minutes ago. The realization finally hits Dakohan like a freight train. He is looking at Jinion and seeing a wall so high that his clan's best techniques cannot even reach the top. The gap in power isn't just a distance, it is a whole different dimension of martial arts mastery. He is completely exhausted and cannot even stand properly anymore. The judges finally step in and tell him to stop before he brings further shame to the honor of the entire Dako clan. It is a mercy kill for his reputation at this point, and the kid knows he is beaten. The Fist Warrior is officially declared the winner, and the spectators are left in absolute awe. They just watched a merchandise dismantle a high-ranking noble while simultaneously teaching him how to fight. If that isn't the ultimate flex in the Murim, I don't know what is. But of course, we have another egomaniac waiting in the wings.
Namgung is watching from the sidelines with a smug grin, thinking he is the one who will eventually crush our boy.
He is clearly delusional, but hey, we all need a hobby, right? Namgung is finally waking up to reality and realizing that our merchandise isn't just some lucky kid. He's been hiding his true inner energy this whole time like a total snake, and Y is starting to sweat buckets.
While his rival Dakohan was just a meathead who tried to use brute force, Y thinks he's a tactical genius.
He's convinced that a calculated approach is the only way to survive the superior skills of this absolute monster. We get a flashback to his grandpa giving him the typical noble clan speech.
Apparently, having Namgung blood means you have to be the one controlling the board, not some pathetic pawn getting played by the system.
Driven by this I am the player ego, Y steps onto the sparring platform looking like he's already won. He's determined to pull Jinion into his own little strategic game, but he has no idea what's coming. The match kicks off and Y immediately pulls out the ruler's 8 slashes. It's a high-tier sword art designed to slowly shave away an opponent's energy, which is basically the most annoying way to fight ever. This technique creates a massive defensive barrier of sword energy. Y is literally baiting Jinion to jump into the air like a predictable amateur just so he can drain his stamina and finish him off. But Jinion doesn't give a single damn about Y's little traps. He shocks the entire audience by charging straight into the energy barrier, planning to shatter this complex technique with nothing but his bare fists. Y is struggling to keep his cool as Jineon starts deflecting his best attacks like they're annoying flies. This kid is showing off skill levels that match the top disciples of the Sword Emperor, and it's making Y look like a joke.
Jineon is actually enjoying this, treating the fight like a little practice session.
He knows that if he wants to be the best under heaven, he has to eventually stomp the Sword Emperor himself, so Y is just a warm-up.
During the crazy exchange of blows, Y thinks he's finally found a loop in Jineon's moves.
He's counting the hits, palm, kick, fist, and he's convinced he's cracked the code like a true gaming nerd.
Confident in his big brain prediction, the young lord moves to counter what he thinks is a finishing palm strike.
Too bad for him, because he gets a devastating fist to the face instead. Wrong answer, simp. Jineon drops the bombshell that he was using sound arts to mess with Y's head. He's literally manipulating the guy's perceptions, proving once and for all that he doesn't follow any of the regular rules. Y finally has a moment of clarity while he's eating dirt.
He realizes that while his clan is busy trying to dominate the board, the Fist Warrior is a wild variable who just smashes the entire board to pieces.
The defeat is absolute and humiliating.
WI is standing there all-blooded in front of Lady Beakley, realizing his entire worldview was basically just a tiny box he couldn't see out of.
Talk about a reality check. Even after getting totally wrecked, Y shows a tiny bit of backbone. He vows to challenge his rival again and promises to set up a board that even this board breaker can't handle. We'll see about that, buddy. The referee officially calls it, the Fist Warrior is the winner of the semi-finals.
The crowd is losing their minds because the merchant heir just secured his spot in the grand finals.
This new guy, Y Maction, introduces himself as the Golden Sand Sword. He's super noisy and hyped for a final showdown, but first, he has to get past the Plum Blossom Wanderer in the second semi-final.
Imagine training your whole life just to realize you are essentially a side character in someone else's power fantasy. We are diving straight into the semi-finals where the Plum Blossom Wanderer thinks his flashy sword is enough to win. But he is about to get a reality check.
Jean Giles from the Manhwa sect starts spamming his Gale Rush like he is playing a button masher. It is all pink petals and high-speed movement, clearly trying to win the award for most extra performance of the year. The crowd is eating it up because everyone loves a good light show, but our boy Y Maction is just standing there with the ultimate is that all you got expression. He is not even breaking a sweat while the petals fly.
Even the high-tier spectators are starting to realize that Mount Hua's flashiness is just a cover for desperation.
Y Maction, the Golden Sand Sword, is literally smiling through the chaos because he has already seen the ending. Jean Giles decides to go for the big guns with the 24 moves Plum Blossom Sword technique, basically staking his entire life on one move. Spoiler alert, staking your life this early in the tournament is usually a massive red flag for losing. He unleashes the Plum Blossom Twister, and for a second, it looks like a pink hurricane hit the arena. But Y Maction just tightens his grip and prepares to end this man's whole career with zero hesitation. Here comes the counterplay. Y Maction uses his golden thread needle, cutting through the flowery nonsense with cold, hard precision. Flashy moves are great for recruitment posters, but they clearly suck against actual geniuses. The pink storm gets absolutely shredded by golden energy.
Jean Giles looks like he just realized he brought a decorative fan to a literal death match, and his face says it all.
Total shock and a side of humble pie. And just like that, the Mount Hua disciple is eating the dirt.
Y Maction secures his spot in the finals, leaving Jean Giles to wonder why he bothered with all those petals in the first place.
Y Maction stands over him like a boss, telling him to just give it up already. He even roasts him for trying to die in a friendly spar, which is honestly the most savage way to tell someone they are overacting. The semi-finals are wrapped up, and the hype for the final match is reaching illegal levels. It is the Golden Sand Sword versus our mysterious merchant heir, the Fist Warrior. The stadium is basically a powder keg at this point. The crowd is divided.
Half of them are simping for the Hainan sect as once-in-a-century genius, while the other half are wondering if our MC is actually a human or just a cheat code in a blue robe.
As the final match officially begins, Y Maction decides to throw a curveball. Instead of using his sword immediately, he starts with close combat movements. He is trying to beat the Fist Warrior at his own game, which is a bold strategy if your goal is to lose quickly. RMC is just vibing, blocking every strike like he is swatting flies.
Maxion realizes that his hands are not going to cut it, so he switches to a reverse grip technique to try and catch Genion off guard.
It is a nice attempt at being unpredictable, but RMC has the ultimate seen it, done it aura. Maxion is getting frustrated because no matter what angle he takes, he is hitting an invisible wall of pure skill. Finally, the golden sand sword stops playing around and unleashes his signature move, the heaven-shattering golden thread. The air fills with sand, but it is not just for show, it is infused with concentrated inner energy. The sand is being manipulated by nearly invisible threads of energy. It is a lethal web designed to shred anyone inside it, and for a moment, it looks like RMC might actually have to try. Keyword, might.
Genion realizes this isn't ordinary sand. He is watching the threads move with the kind of focus that makes you realize he is not just a fighter. He is a monster who understands the matrix of martial arts. Maxion thinks he has the win in the bag, but then the impossible happens.
His lethal golden threads just stop. They are frozen midair like they just hit a lag spike in a video game. The look on Maxion's face is priceless. He is trying to force the threads forward, but they are not budging. RMC has literally seized control of the energy threads using superior manipulation. This is beyond overpowered, it is just bullying. Maxion feels like he has run into an unscalable wall.
He realizes the gap between them isn't just a few levels. It is an entire ocean.
He admits defeat right then and there, proving he is at least a graceful loser. The referee declares the Fist Warrior the champion, and the stadium goes absolutely quiet before erupting. Nobody expected the merchant heir to actually take the crown, but here we are. Maxion shows some actual class by thanking Genion for the lesson. He even asks for another spar in the future, probably hoping he can learn how to not get his ultimate move turned off like a light switch next time. But wait, the wholesome vibes are about to get nuked.
Far away from the cheers, the secret demon core of the Myriad Demon Palace is crawling out of the shadows.
And they are not here for the trophy. Captain Oh Kyung is leading this group of psychos, and they are plotting something nasty. They are talking about a revised plan involving the rising talents who are about to head home. The demonic faction is setting up a massive ambush at Gurung Gorge. They are planning to slaughter all the young geniuses while they are still tired from the tournament. It is the ultimate red flag move for the next arc. They are even targeting the people the Heavenly Demon and Sword Demon couldn't kill.
These guys are not messing around, and the tournament celebration is about to turn into a literal bloodbath if our MC doesn't step in.
While everyone is cheering for the new champion, the dark clouds are already gathering.
The Myriad Demon Palace is ready to shift the balance of power, and Gurung Gorge is about to become a graveyard. The champion has been decided, but the real war is just beginning. Stay tuned, because our Fist Warrior is about to find out that fighting in a ring is nothing compared to surviving a demonic ambush. The Fist King is back, and he is the champion, but the demon cult doesn't care about titles. They only care about bodies. Get ready for the next chapter, because things are about to get violent. The ambush is set, the talents are moving, and the captain of the demon corps is already smiling. This isn't just a tournament recap anymore, it is a countdown to a massacre. The scene shifts to the dark night, where the Myriad Demon Palace members are gathering. They are moving with a level of coordination that spells disaster for the orthodox sects. Oh Kyung is briefed on the rising talents, and he dismisses them as just kids. He is about to learn the hard way that one of those kids is a reincarnated monster who eats demons for breakfast. The plan is simple, kill everyone on the way back. No witnesses, no survivors. The Gurung Gorge formation is being finalized as we speak. Spiders and webs everywhere, symbolizing the trap they are laying. It is edgy, it is dramatic, and it is exactly the kind of trouble RMC thrives in.
The moment of truth has arrived and the Dragon Phoenix tournament finally has its king.
Our boy, the mysterious Fist Warrior. just snatch the crown while the crowd is losing their minds because they still can't believe this random dark horse actually pulled it off.
The Murim Alliance leader isn't wasting any time and summons the top 3 heavy hitters to the stage. Jineon, Maxian, and Namgung are all lined up, looking like the ultimate squad of overachievers while the old man prepares to hand out the legendary loot. Namgung gets the first shiny toy, the Supreme Star Blade, which is basically the leader's personal favorite.
Surprisingly, the local arrogant genius has actually learned some manners and accepts the gift with enough humility to make you wonder if he's been replaced by a clone.
Next up is Maxian, the once-in-a-century genius who is clearly feeling himself. He decides to name his brand-new weapon the Golden Sand Sword to match his signature style, proving that even in the Murim, branding is everything if you want to stay relevant. As the public show wraps up, things get suspiciously serious. The leader orders the White Dragon Squad and the elders to lock the place down and form a human shield around the winner, because apparently, the next part of the program is for VIP eyes only. Yunwal starts dropping some lore, explaining that popping a high-level elixir is like playing Russian roulette with your soul. One tiny slip-up and you're looking at a one-way ticket to energy deviation, which is a fancy way of saying your internal organs will literally explode. The alliance leader is being surprisingly wholesome, personally standing guard so Jineon can focus on his power-up. It's a level of favoritism that would make any other junior green with envy, but when you're the protagonist, the universe basically bends over backward for you.
Jineon takes a look at the century-old purified ginseng and remembers his past life as a lonely nobody.
Back then, he didn't have the strongest men in the world acting as his personal bodyguards while he enjoyed a midnight snack that's worth more than a small kingdom.
The absorption process starts and it's an absolute flex. Thanks to that azurite essence he's carrying, the energy doesn't just flow, it surges. He's breaking through barriers like they're made of wet paper, leaving his previous weak self in the dust where he belongs. Our boy officially hits the 9th level of cultivation, and the sheer speed of it is terrifying.
He's absorbing centuries of power in a matter of minutes, basically speedrunning the entire Murim power scale while the old man outside is probably wondering if he fell asleep on the job.
The leader is genuinely shook when Jineon finishes so fast, expecting him to be in a deep trance for days. Instead, the champion just wakes up and casually complains that he's starving to death, which is the most relatable thing this OP monster has done all day. Time for a celebratory feast, but Chol Myungo is looking like he's about to have a heart attack. The usually loudmouthed brat is suddenly the quietest kid in class because sitting across from the legendary alliance leader is apparently more terrifying than a deathmatch. The leader decides to roast Myungo a bit, calling him out by his nickname, Poisonous Fox. He asks if the kid has finally figured out how to use his new iron umbrella properly, turning the dinner table into a high-stakes interrogation that Myungo is barely surviving. The old man shifts his gaze to Yunwal and drops a bombshell. He knows all about the Wa clan's secret heroics during the Great Battle of the Five Tombs. It turns out the clan isn't just a bunch of merchants, and their hidden history is finally coming out of the shadows. Yunwal gets a stern lecture about carrying the weight of his ancestors.
The leader tells him that showing panic or weakness is basically a middle finger to his lineage, so he needs to straighten his back and start acting like the descendant of a great clan already.
The vibes go from celebratory to grim real fast. The leader reveals that the Fist King and Moyong Chu have gone completely silent, which is Murim code for something very bad happened.
The demonic faction is waking up, and they're looking for blood.
The leader has a special mission for Jineon. Since the demons don't even know he exists yet, he wants him to become the hidden sword of the Orthodox faction. Basically, he wants him to be a secret weapon that can stab the enemy in the back before they even see him coming. The dinner wraps up and the boys plan to go out for some real drinks, but the peaceful night is about to be shattered. Just as they're saying their goodbyes, a presence appears that's so heavy it feels like the air itself is being crushed, and it's definitely not a friendly visitor. It's the legendary Sword Emperor himself, and he's not alone. He's carrying someone who looks like they've been through a meat grinder, bringing the devastating news that the Sword King was brutally ambushed by the demonic faction. The war hasn't just started, it's already at their doorstep. We start with the Sword Emperor dropping some heavy news. Turns out the Sword King is currently out of commission after a brutal run-in with the demonic faction. He is not dead yet, but the man needs absolute rest unless he wants to meet his ancestors early. The details of the fight are straight-up nightmare fuel. These demonic faction bastards were basically using cheat codes. They were seemingly impervious to blades, standing back up even after being sliced and diced like it was nothing but a flesh wound. This is not just a random scrap. It is a full-blown crisis. Our boy describes it as some kind of dark spell or blade impervious technique that makes these guys impossible to kill. Even the Sword King could not handle the hacks. The Alliance leader is starting to sweat because top-tier masters like Moyang Chu and the Sword King are being picked off or going missing one by one. It is a systematic cleanup, and the good guys are losing their heavy hitters fast. Time to move the chess pieces. The Cloud Dragon squad is sent out to play detective and find the enemy, while the White Dragon squad is on babysitting duty for the tournament's rising talents. The demonic faction is playing a whole new game this time. Shift to a nearby inn where the vibes are surprisingly chill given the world is ending.
Chul Myungo is looking at Jineon like he has grown a second head. Wondering why he told the Alliance leader he used to run a literal gambling den.
Jineon just shrugs it off like a boss. He explains that the Alliance leader is actually a real one, telling him that if he can live a good life today, he does not need to dwell on his shady past. Honestly, we love a non-judgmental leader. Not to be outdone in the tragic backstory department, Wai Yunwal spills the tea on his own family. Turns out his ancestor was a nameless assassin who lived like a tool, killing when told and eating when told. Basically, a human Roomba for murder. The Wa clan only became a thing because the Wudong Sword Immortal decided to treat this nameless killer like a human being for once. He gave him a proper name and a reason to exist beyond just stabbing people for money. Imagine being over 20 years old and finally being called a person for the first time. That is the kind of trauma Yunwal carries, but he is not hiding it anymore. His story is long, dark, and definitely makes our gambling den owner look like a saint. This group is a literal collection of misfits. You have got a descendant of an assassin, a former gambling boss, and a merchant group's son all sharing drinks.
They realize that the best companions are the ones with the weirdest baggage.
Just as they are getting sentimental, Nam Gungwai decides to crash the party. He is not here to fight, though. He is actually showing some rare character development, admitting that Jineon totally held back during their match. Nam Gungwai is being surprisingly humble, even if he is still a bit of a prick. He pays his wager and admits he stayed to watch the finals just to see how much of a monster Jineon really is. He even asks for a rematch down the line. After dropping a massive bag of 30,000 Niang, Nam Gungwai bounces. Now our duo is left bickering over the money and the rare gauntlets.
Jineon is just trying to enjoy his expensive wine while Yunwal is doing math in his head.
The next day, the tournament is popping off. The crowd is hyped because they are about to see the Snow Phoenix, Wai Yunseal, face off against the legendary beauty of Jiangnan, Baekli Yun. It is basically a martial arts pageant with swords. The fight is intense, but Yunseal has an ace up her sleeve. She starts pulling out advanced body techniques that leave everyone, especially her opponent, absolutely stunned. Where did a girl like her learn moves that look this high level? Plot twist. She learned these moves from Jineon back when she was just a kid. Watching from the sidelines, Jineon is being a total critic, noting that her strikes are good but she is still hesitating. Tough love from the master, folks. We get a quick flashback to tiny Yunseal training her heart out. She did not forget a single thing he taught her. Even though she is a long way off from perfection, she is still dominating the stage and making the Jiangnan beauty look like an amateur. Jineon decides he has seen enough and dips out early. He has got business to handle with the Ouyang clan and the Yunhe merchant group. The man has gained a lot on this trip: 9th phase martial arts, poison immunity, and a pair of shiny gauntlets. As rumors of the tournament's shock winner spread like wildfire, Yunwal skips the boring awards ceremony. He is chasing down the real champion, proving that in this world of psychodukes and red flags, true friendship is the real OP skill.
The tournament crowd is still losing their minds over those body techniques.
It is not every day a nobody comes in and styles on the elite with moves they have never even seen. Yunseal is officially the new girl to watch out for. Jineon is walking away from the chaos like a main character in a slow-motion movie. He is reflecting on how much he has leveled up. From poison resistance to his lightning art hitting the 9th phase, the man is becoming an absolute unit. Even with all the power, he still has to deal with the mundane stuff like documents and merchant group politics.
He left the Yunha group alone for too long, and it is time to go back and remind everyone who is actually running the show.
The trip into the Murim was a total success. He made new connections, saved some masters, and basically became a walking tank.
He is heading back with peace of mind, knowing he is finally strong enough to protect what is his.
Rumors are flying through the streets that the Snow Phoenix did not actually win the whole thing. Someone who does not even belong to the big associations took the top spot. The shock on people's faces is worth more than the 30,000 Niang. The champion's name is being whispered everywhere, Baek Yak. Yunwal finally catches up to his friend under the moonlight, calling him champion with a smirk. The awards ceremony might be over, but the real legend is just getting started. We end with a mysterious beauty chasing down our protagonist. She skipped her own glory just to find him. Is this a new romance or a new threat? Either way, Jineon just cannot seem to catch a break from all these high-tier women.